gals, and welcome. Welcome. So, we're going to try and get a little bit done today, even though I do have to go to work. Soon, actually. I also have another interesting idea that we're going to be playing around with today. It's an idea that was given to me by one of my viewers, and we'll talk about it in just a second. Without further ado, let's hit the intro and let's get into voice chat. All right. So, one of my viewers asked me a question, and it's an interesting question. And they were wondering whether or not you could synergize Holy Bolt that comes from Principle if it's on the Mercenary. Now, similarly to that way that I've done this in the past, where I've been able to synergize Holy Bolt by using, the actual Principle armor and then building the skills on the Paladin. The question kind of comes around is, can Holy Bolt potentially be synergized with, well, not, like a Paladin? Can the actual Mercenary do it? This was Drobard. He said, does anyone know if Principle Holy Bolt gets the prayer synergy from the Act 2 Mercenary? It could be interesting with his jab ability, and I responded that most likely yes, but not exactly 100% sure. The interesting thing here is that if it does work, you could potentially set up kind of like a heal bot. Not a regeneration bot, but a heal bot. And I thought maybe we could test that today. It shouldn't really take that much to test. I wouldn't think so anyway. It really comes down to checking to see how much he's healing, figuring out exactly what the heal numbers are, and then going from there to try and multiply out the damage in some way. It might be slightly difficult, but we should be able to at least make it work. First off, let's grab, because this isn't really a theory craft for, well, that specific character. It's just a theory craft for a character in general. So we can probably just take any character and test this. Trying to think what character we should snag. I got so many characters. So many characters. So many different type character. Let's grab something innocuous that I can play with. Yeah, giggity. Giggity goo. Giggity. The hell is this character? I don't even know what that character is. I don't even know who you are. I mean, theoretically, we don't even need a character, but it would be good to at least have something set up. I kind of don't want to mess with some of these characters that I currently have already in here, though. Test Paladin. I don't know what you are, Test Paladin. I don't even know what you are. Alright, so to test this, we're going to need a Principle armor. That's the first thing. A Principle armor. Now, we need to find out whether or not it actually works. And I think that's the biggest problem right here, is that we don't know whether or not it actually works. So, we have to devise a plan to determine whether or not it actually works. And we're going to need him to be essentially invincible for this test. Because if he's dying all the time, well, that's not going to help us out very much, and we're not going to be able to figure anything out. So I think the easiest way to do this is just to let's make him pretty much invincible for the most part. And this way, we can do the testing that we're trying to do. So we're just going to go ahead and add a bunch of stuff like cold absorption, lightning absorption. This test isn't about him surviving. This test is about whether or not the principal armor can actually be, like synergized from the prayer on his equipment, and we need to be able to test that. So him staying alive is kind of the most important thing. If he doesn't stay alive, well, then that's not really going to help us very much. Let's go ahead and hit him with that cannot be frozen as well. And we also need the monsters to not die. So it pretty much just comes down to, like, we just need him to not die, if that makes any sense. So he needs to not die. So let's give him slowest target as well. Let's just slap a bunch of ding-dongs on this thing. Let's give him damage reduced, and let's also give him damage reduced percentage, and let's also throw in MDR as well. And then poison length reduction, save modified item. He doesn't, like, we don't really even care, like, what's going on with him. Like, all he needs to do is survive. And that armor should give us pretty much everything we need to make sure that he's actually surviving. Outside of that, we need this character to have, like, an insanely large amount of health, so that we can test this properly. So let's go ahead and give him, like, 8,000 health. The reason why we need more health on him is because we want to see, like, how much each holy bolt is actually doing to us, and getting an idea of, like, what's going on. If we have a relatively low amount of health, the problem is we're not going to be able to accurately see what's going on and whether or not the heals are actually increased by prayer synergy. If they are increased by prayer synergy, we should be able to roundabout gauge how much the synergy bonus is and whether or not it's going to be worth it to actually run this kind of a build. Obviously, the healer is not going to shoot these holy bolts at you either, which is something else. So, like, you're going to have to actually stand in the way of these holy bolts. And, yeah, that's just basically what's going to happen. So, test paladin, copy, Diablo 2 Resurrected. What the hell is all these, like, CTLO files? I don't even know what those are. Alright, so we got the character in there. Let's play around with this and let's see if we can figure this out. So we need to pull up some damage numbers here too. So Amazon Basin Holy Bolt. Very close to a Duke Nukem impression. Sounds good to me. What's wrong with the Duke Nukem impression? All right. So we know that principal body armor is a level 5 Holy Bolt with a 100% chance. This means that at the grand scheme of things, the Holy Bolt is, well, it's fairly low, but we have an exact idea of how much healing it does. So if we pull up the chart here, and we get a little bit of information on our side, which is always useful, we have an information of the healing magic. So the maximum and minimum healing, which is these two right here. So it does a minimum of 9 and a maximum of 22 at level 5. So this principal armor is going to spam a level 5 Holy Bolt every single time he attacks, which is going to give him a relatively, like, nice amount of healing. However, the problem here is that it's still relatively low, and you'd have to stand in it for a prolonged period of time to heal yourself up. I seem to have some sort of regeneration on me, and I don't want regeneration. Where is the regeneration coming from? The Heart of the Oak. Okay, there we go. Alright, so going from there, we've got the synergy bonus for Holy Bolt. The synergy bonus is 15% per level of prayer, according to this. So if we take a look at prayer on here, you can see that prayer is the synergy for Holy Bolt, which says 20%. So Amazon Basin must be running on an older number because 15% doesn't seem to be the right number. Okay, so 20% per level. And as far as I'm aware, the prayer aura that's on the mercenary is counted as hard points, as far as I know. So it's a hard point scenario where essentially every point that the mercenary has counts as a hard point toward the synergies. Now the reason why we know this is because if the mercenary has the prayer aura and you are utilizing an insight weapon, or you're utilizing the cure helmet, you also get the regeneration bonus that prayer gives to those specific abilities. And of course we don't have a prayer mercenary on the list at all, so we need to leave and come back. So in this particular case, we're going to be looking at the healing bonus of level 5 per Holy Bolt, which we could even play around with because I have skill points here. So if I put 1 point in this, it immediately goes to level 21. I got too many plus the skills here. Hold on. What is that? Level 13? That's still way too high. +1, +2, +2, +1, +1. What are we at now? 6, so we need one more. Alright, so there's our level 5 right there. Does it agree? 9 to 22, 9 to 22. Okay. So we can figure out the bonus just by simply running the right number here. There we go. We've got some prayer mercs. Alright, so this is a level 92 prayer merc, and the level 92 prayer merc has level 18 prayer. So let's simulate that, shall we? So we're going to simulate level 18 prayer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, this is not always the case, so before any of you guys take this as the case, there are only 2 abilities in the game that count soft points, and prayer is one of them. Prayer counts soft points for its abilities. I do not believe prayer counts soft points for the actual ability here. So let's just put 18 points in here with soft, just to be sure. Giggity. And it says 34 to 83. So let's run the math ourselves and see if that matches up. So 18 times 20 is 360%. So 22 plus 360% is 101.2 according to this. So it doesn't look like the soft points count for prayer synergy with Holy Bolt. Only the prayer synergy for cleansing and meditation. So we're going to have to bring this up to 18 base. And does that match the number that we got? So 101, 101.2, and Diablo 2 notoriously always rounds down in every single scenario that it can possibly round. So it looks like to me that if we throw this on the mercenary, we should go from the meager healing to the higher healing, right? Now, here's the thing that we've got to test. We've got to test the original healing first to make sure we're getting the original value. So let's just go ahead and rehire one of these other mercenaries. It doesn't matter. Let's just grab the Defiance mercenary for the moment.
I'll put that to good use.
Alright, and we're just going to let him wail on something, and we're going to stand on the other side, and we're going to let him heal us, and we're going to see how much our health goes up per Holy Bolt, essentially. We need to find a good target that's kind of like by itself that we can stand next to, not have to worry about getting beat on. Alright, we got some targets here. See if we can pull one or two of them by themselves. Huh. It's not hitting me. Is this a bust already? It doesn't seem like that, it doesn't seem like the holy bolts are actually firing. I mean, I'm fairly certain I'm standing within range of the holy bolts to be hits. And, they're not making the, like, the effect. There's like an effect when you hit a target, like when you hit, like if I hit my mercenary, you see how it like makes this little like circular sort of effect that it's hitting me or hitting the monster. It's not making that effect when it hits me. It also makes the effect when I hit him. See, there's like a healing effect that happens. It's like a very obvious, like you've been healed effect. It doesn't seem like the Holy Bolt even works. Like, it's not hitting me in any way, shape, or form. Huh. No, I mean, it definitely works, and you can heal people with it. I've done it before on my character. But I think my assumption here is that it's not working on him. Like, if I were to take the armor and put it on me, as an example, and hit the monster, I'm pretty sure that it would work. Of course, I can't hit the monster. Yeah, you can clearly see that it's making the Healy sound, the Healy effect on the mercenary, right? But it's not making the Healy effect on me when he uses the Holy Bolt, and it passes through me. I think this is one of those situations where the mercenary is just another thing that just doesn't work on the mercenary. That's really all there is to it. It seems to be hitting the monsters, though, which is really quite interesting. Like, it's definitely hitting the monsters, it's just not hitting me. Maybe it's bugged. Sometimes with the mercenaries, you have to leave the armor on them, come back into the game. Like, you can't put the armor on them for that particular game. You have to, like, leave the armor on them and then come back and then play around with it. I don't know if that's even a thing, but we'll test that as well, because why not? I'm gonna say the answer is no. Guess I'm gonna have to reply to this guy and tell him that it doesn't work. Because it does not seem to work. It seems to be hitting the monsters, or at least it looks like it's hitting the monsters, but I can't even tell if that's the case. It seems to be that whether or not it's synergized is not even really the question. Like, we can't even find out whether it's synergized because it's not actually hitting us. So the 100% chance to cast level 5 Holy Bolt on striking is working on the mercenary, but it's not actually doing any damage. I don't even know if it's doing any damage to the monsters, now that I think about it. Like, it's actually kind of odd. Maybe, he doesn't have a weapon on. Let me take him to, like, Nightmare difficulty. I don't know how much damage it does unsynergized. It's probably one of, like, the worst weapons in the game, but... What is he doing, like, 223 damage? Let's go to normal, and let's see if he has the ability to kill a demon with the Holy Bolts, specifically. My thing is he does have, like, massive amounts of, we need a big pack where the monsters are like, yeah, here we go. This'll work. So the holy bolts are definitely damaging the demons. You can see, like, the monsters behind the monster that he's attacking are definitely being hit by the holy bolts. So, I mean, at the very least, the holy bolts are being fired. And we also can clearly see that the holy bolts are actually damaging targets. But I don't necessarily know whether or not, like, it's actually... Is there some sort of, like, mechanical problem with it? I'm trying to get, like, them to line up a little bit here so I can see, like, a... They're not. They don't want to behave. They don't want to behave. Behave! Okay, here you go. This will definitely work. I mean, I don't think he got touched by the ball by the guy one time and he was still missing HP. It's hard to see though. It really is. The monsters don't want to line up right. You know, it's probably a good place to check this, and I didn't even think about this. Somewhere where the monsters line up really nicely for you, and you'd very easily be able to see this, is Arcane Sanctuary. Let's just go to Arcane Sanctuary. That'll be the easiest way to see it. Fist of the Heavens doesn't heal. It never has. It's not a healing ability. And I don't think that Principles is the ones from the Fist of the Heavens. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Because the ones from Fist of the Heavens are, not healing at all. Which means that, I wouldn't be able to heal with it on my character myself. So, like, this character can heal other characters with the Holy Bolts that come from Principle. This is something specific to the Mercenary. Oh, this is working a lot less good than I intended. I don't want a whole bunch of ghosts. I want a line of monsters that I can easily test this on. The ghosts just complicate things and make it more difficult to see what the hell's going on. Where's the straightaway? That's the one we want, is the straightaway. There we go. Okay. I mean, I'm seeing the monsters in the back taking damage. So, it definitely seems to me like the monsters in the back that are not near the monster are definitely taking damage. So, it's 100% firing the bolt. It is 100% dishing out damage. It's just not providing any healing benefit at all. There's just no healing benefit. So, like, in my case, like, if I'm standing on the other side of this, you can see I'm getting no healing benefit whatsoever. It's hitting the monsters on the other side of me. It just doesn't heal me. It must be something that they must have thought of. They must have thought of this. Like, they must have deliberately neutered this when they were developing the Principal Runeward armor. That's the only thing I can think of. Well, that's rather unfortunate, and that puts a... that kills that idea dead in the water. That kills that one dead in the water, my friends. I'm going to do a quick follow-up post. Alright, updated. This character's done. We can delete him. Alright, back to the sorceress. A test done and a test completed. Alright, so now we need to farm some more cow level.
Ah, you're doing some cow farming.
Moo.
Very cool.
Moo.
Moo moo.
Moo. Moo, 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 moo. Moo, 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 moo.
Wait, do you hear anything coming background through my mic? I have a TV show on.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Oh, okay.
I can hear yours
Okay.
TV show. What you watching?
Yes. Billions.
Billions? What the hell's that?
Impossible. Impossible.
It's about billionaires.
Oh. People completely removed from reality.
Yep, pretty much.
What do you mean you don't have a Bugatti to drive around to get groceries with? What are you talking about? Everybody has a grocery store Bugatti. What do you...
Good day.
There you go. Put the cargo box on the Bugatti. Then you have room for the groceries.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
'Cause you can't use the seat because the supermodel's using the passenger seat, obviously.
Oh, man. I mean, you can't take your supermodel everywhere. You gotta leave them at home sometimes.
Oh shit. Feel like that
Yeah.
at that point they're just they're a prop.
I mean...
They just there.
I mean, you're not wrong. Ow. I want a character that has no health. I forgot. Get him, mercenary. Get him. Wow. A third one. I now have 3 death sashes. This is absolutely silly. I'm lining them up next to each other in my stash just for memes at this point. If I can add a class to D2, what would I add? I don't know. Really don't know. I think it would be fun to have some sort of like a hybrid class that like can pull from skills from all the other classes. Would have to be balanced out, obviously. You couldn't just let them take anything. And there'd have to be restrictions to it. I was always very fond of Final Fantasy XI's hybrid system that they invented. I don't know if you ever played Final Fantasy XI, but even if you haven't played Final Fantasy XI, I will educate you. So in Final Fantasy XI, you were allowed to pick a subclass. So you could pick any class you wanted as your primary, and then you got a subclass that you could choose. The subclass would allow you to choose from the abilities that that class had access to up to the level of the subclass. The subclass could only be half of whatever your given level was. And in this particular case, it might end up needing to be 1/3, which would probably be more accurate. But imagine if you could just take one character, one class out of Diablo 2, and you're just like, okay, I want this to be my subclass. So you'd be a paladin, but like you're a subclass monk or something. And then you get access to all of the skills, essentially, that you would have access to on the monk, but only at that particular level. So, like, you're only capable of putting points into them up to that point. And it makes some very interesting, like, hybrid sort of builds, that's for sure. Heavy gloves. Another pair of Sanders. Actually, I do have Sanders riprap, but I don't think I think the 2-piece bonus on this is like awful, isn't it? It's just like 50 defense and that's it. It's like,
Yeah, I don't remember Sanders being great.
yeah, it's like one of the worst 2-piece bonuses in the game.
Like even the full set is very lackluster. So it's got the wand, right? The wand and the helmet, boots and gloves, or yeah, boots and gloves.
Did I like any of the PoE 2 classes? I would counter that question by saying what PoE 2 classes? Like, there's basically no PoE 2 classes. Like, that's like an oxymoron of a statement. Like, they just don't exist. The
They
only
have
thing,
different names,
the only thing that you
but
choose,
the
the,
gameplay's the same, I guess.
the only thing you choose is the Ascendancy. That's it. That's the only
Um,
thing you choose. Like, imagine if, what is the Ascendancy? The Ascendancy is like, I don't really know. Like, the maybe like passives. It's like usually like a bunch of passives and stuff that are specific to that specific character. But like everything about the character is the same except for the Ascendancy. That's literally the only thing you're choosing. Oh, and the appearance of your character. I guess if that matters to you. It's
yeah, DT.
one of my problems with Path of Exile too. Actually, is that all the characters feel very samey. They're very much so like the same exact character, like multiple times. The ascendancies themselves aren't enough of a like. What's the term? I'm trying to think of like the right way to say it. They aren't enough of a differentiation to like really take the character and separate them out from the other characters all that much. And some of the ascendancies are very alike as well. Like there's several of the ascendancies are like almost identical to each other.
Impossible.
There's definitely an issue there with Path of Exile where it feels like every character is just the same character. I remember when me and Leon were starting the new Huntress, right? And we were playing around with the Huntress. And we were sitting there looking at the Huntress, and we weren't like particularly impressed with all the options the Huntress had available to her. And we were even considering that like the best Huntress might have actually been not making a Huntress and just going with like Deadeye or something like that, which was apparently like more akin to what we were planning on doing. And yeah, like a Deadeye Huntress actually would have worked extremely well.
Impossible. Not enough mana.
Now, one thing they really got to do in Path of Exile is they really got to find a way to like make the characters stand out, and differentiate them a little bit more. Like it's the ascendancies just aren't enough. I hate to say it, they're just not. They're not enough. Like even when the druid comes out, I can almost guarantee you that like the druid's gonna be more or less like people are gonna look at it and be like, oh yeah, that's cool, and then they're just gonna use like the standard ascendancies that everybody was using. Yeah, and then that's the other thing is that ascendancies aren't really enough of a differentiation for the classes. Like it doesn't give them enough of an identity. Some of them do. You know, like there's a couple of the ascendancies which do feel sort of special-ish. Like they're okay. They're not the most amazing things in the world, but there's something special there. I don't really know exactly how to like point it out. Yeah, but it's more than that, Jesse. Like, it's in Path of Exile. It's so much more than that. Like, it's not even just so much as you're making your own class. It's that there is no class, and that almost very specifically that like you start to understand that as you build more and more characters, that like none of these characters are different or separate than the others in any like meaningful way. Like you start to realize that like, okay, this character is pretty much identical to the same last character I made. Like, oh, I'm using energy shield again, and oh, I literally have the same exact stats, and I'm building the same exact nodes, and I'm making the same exact character. Like, and it does actually get that way in Path of Exile, where it's like you're just making the same exact character that you made last time with like the tiniest of tweaks, and it's less fun than it might seem because it gets to the point where like every character is basically just identical to the last character. Exactly. You go pure armor, high res. Okay. And if you go pure armor and high res with every character that you make, now every character is pure armor and high res, and there's no differentiation between them. You're going to pull the same nodes, and you're going to go to the same places, and you're going to get the same defensive pieces of equipment, and you're going to basically play it the exact same way you did the previous character. The only thing that really changes for the most part is the weapon. Like that's half the time the only thing that changes is the weapon that you're choosing. And even then, like, I hate to say this, but all the skills are very samey as well. Like they're all very samey skills. Like and there's something wrong with that as well. I mean, evasion will always be useless until they figure out the whole one-shot mechanic thing. Just because I can evade 99.9% of all attacks doesn't mean that one attack won't come in that just wipes you off the face of the planet. Yeah, you can make it less likely for that attack to come in and wipe you off the face of the planet, but like mitigation always generally tends to work better than evasion, just simply because mitigation is going to prevent that one shot from happening. Even if the attacks come in more frequently, at the very least you won't just suddenly die. I always explain evasion to people as you're okay right up until you aren't. Yeah, but defense from Diablo 2 was never meant to be like the only layer. You know, like they've separated out evasion as a layer. It's a layer of defense, right? And like a lot of the times when you're playing a character, like that's the only layer that you have. So you're stuck with like one layer, and that layer is evasion. If you pick the wrong character, that is. Like some of the characters are next to impossible to build anything other than evasion. I don't like that either, really, as like the starting points are also like very incentivizing for you to build specific things. Like if you're a monk, they're incentivizing you to build energy shield evasion. If you're a warrior, they're incentivizing you to build armor. If you're a sorceress or whatever the character is, and I can't remember the class, like they're incentivizing you to build that specific element or that specific defense. And it does feel kind of wonky because like instead of making
like
it that
getting
character
pushed into a predetermined
yeah.
path that the developers want you to instead of creating your own.
Well, yeah.
Sounds like.
Well, so if you play like a monk, for instance, you're on the exact opposite side of the board from armor. So if you want to build armor, you have to travel all the way over there and waste like tons and tons and tons and tons of points to get to the armor side of the tree. And it's next to impossible. Like the traveling when you're on the opposite side of the tree of the thing that you're trying to get, it's like next to impossible to do anything. You're pretty much just relegated to using what's on your side of the tree. Picking a class as a predetermined path? I mean, not really. Like, when the game first started, they had one of the classes, literally one of their starting bonuses was that they could choose any starting position. That was actually in the original version. I don't know why they took it out, because choosing your starting position would have been amazing. I don't even understand why they make you start from specific positions. Like, in Path of Exile 2, they should probably just make it so that you can just start from any position. There's absolutely no reason to restrict a character, as far as I can tell, to a specific starting position when every single character can do everything in the game. Just let the characters start at whatever positions they want. I mean, yes, you can have like a default starting position, which the default starting position can be useful, but like at the same time, why force them to be stuck at the starting position that they don't want to be at?
The Order welcomes you.
I think what it all comes down to is the core of what's wrong with Path of Exile is that giant passive tree. I hate to say it, but that's the core of what's wrong with Path of Exile. The passive tree is a deterrent for new players because it's difficult to learn. The traveling on it is absolutely awful and restricts basically any class that's on the opposite side of the thing they want to get to. You're essentially relegated to use the things that are next to you no matter what. Like, oh, you spawned as a monk? Well, guess what? You're next to the energy shield and evasion trees, and you don't get access to anything else unless we tell you to.
Took 35 runs to get 3 D keys. Not terrible.
I once spent an entire day, literally 12 hours straight, trying to farm D keys. Did not.
Oh,
get
wasn't
it.
that on your
Live
your
stream,
North
yeah.
Star Smiter solo self-found P8 or something?
Did not find a
Just
single,
terrible luck.
not a single key all day long.
That's crazy.
The Final Fantasy XI class system in Diablo 2, yeah. I think that subclassing would be amazing in this game. I think it could be crazy. I think you'd have to spend your skill points just the same as you would always. I think that's something that is crucial to making subclassing work, is that you're essentially giving up part of your power to build into the other tree, which obviously restricts what you can spend in your own tree. On top of that, you would be highly limited of what you could actually achieve in that tree because, you know, like you'd be limited to like level 33 or something like that, which would highly restrict you on what you could have access to. You might even actually limit it lower than that because I don't think giving access to the level 30 skills is a good idea. It would probably be something like level 24 skills or something. Like level 24 and below. So like if you subclassed, you would get like a level 24 panel that would give you access to essentially any skill that another character has up to level 24 or something like that. And you could only put points into them up to the maximum allowed at level 24. So like if you're level say like 10 and you have like a level 1 ability, you can only level that ability up to level 10 because that's how it works. So, like, there would be a decrease in the amount of points that you would be able to put in any of the abilities up to a certain degree. And then, like, the higher the ability is, the less points that you could put in it. And it could be rather interesting. And then at the same time, you're also reducing the number of points that you can put in your own skills. So it's like a double-edged sword. Yes, you get access to some of the other skills from the other characters, but you're also losing points that you can put into your own skills in the process. I don't know. Man, I don't know, though. If I was in charge of Path of Exile, 1 or 2, it doesn't even matter. That passive tree would be the first thing to go. I feel like the passive tree is holding that game back. It's definitely holding it back. They're holding on to it like it's some sort of like great, I don't know, what the epiphany, or like it's some sort of like grand invention that like is going to save humanity or something. And honestly, I think that the passive tree is just holding that game back. I think it creates characters that are all too very similar to each other. I think at a certain point, why do you even have classes? Like, why are there even classes at all? I mean, it's a very good question. Like, why am I even choosing a class in Path of Exile if all the classes are essentially exactly the same? Why not just have all the ascendancies on the same character, and you can choose whatever ascendancy you want, and then literally have every character be able to start from any starting point, or make it so that your ascendancy determines your starting point. Like, they've basically set up a game where literally all the characters are almost identical to each other, so why even have any differentiation at all? You don't see how a flicker build is similar to a ground slam build. It is similar because you're literally using like almost all the same items, all the same pieces of equipment, all the same passive bonuses, all the same skills to make it work. I told you guys about this Arcanis Caps thing, and I don't think you guys believe me, but I've already found probably like 5 Arcanis Caps at this point. I don't know what it is, but Cow King loves to drop some Arcanis Caps.
Yep, I hear that.
What can I do for you?
Are you kidding me, Jesse? I like Path of Exile. I play the game on freaking for both seasons so far. Path of Exile 2. I don't like Path of Exile 1. But the passive tree itself is not a good thing in the character. I feel like you're just blind to the topic because you like the game, and you're not willing to look at it objectively from an outside opinion. Like, the passive tree doesn't make the game better. The passive tree makes the game worse.
I can. Impossible.
Oh, by the way, Ginger, I've had actually good luck on some playthroughs with Treehead Woodfist with set items.
Yeah, I was
It's
farming.
probably a
I
pretty
was
easy thing to
I was
add to your
farming
rotation.
I was farming a bunch of those early on.
Okay.
Rockinishu, Bishy Boss, Treehead. I couldn't do Cold Crow because I was set up for cold at that time.
Oh yeah, Cold Crow is actually, even when you don't have cold, she's kind of spicy. Those archers are no joke.
Well, especially if you're a cold character. She's always cold enchanted, so she has massive amounts of cold resistance.
Mm-hmm.
I need mana.
I don't remember what does she always roll as cursed or something? Maybe I'm misremembering. I don't remember what aura she. Is it just cold enchanted she always rolls with?
Yeah,
and the
she
rest,
always
the other is
rolls cold
random?
enchanted. Yeah.
Okay, so that is what it is.
So in normal, she's always cold enchanted.
Yeah. And she's a bit to get to, of course. With you have teleport or no?
I mean, I do, but I don't have any faster casts, so it's about as useless as a wet fart.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's kind of inevitable, huh? There is no set
Muso
faster
said,
cast.
I have a Whirlwind Barbarian with E-Botted and Rune Master, and I'm still having slow kill speeds. So the problem with Whirlwind is that Whirlwind has a is not an AoE skill. It's kind of hard to explain because a lot of people think it's an AoE skill, and so like there's this sort of like understanding from the community that like, oh yeah, Whirlwind's like an AoE skill and you can use it to whirlwind through monsters and do massive amounts of damage. But it's not an AoE skill. It's a single target ability that attacks extremely fast as you're passing through the monsters, and it basically hits the monsters like really fast as you're going through them. The problem is that it's the same number of attacks, for one target as it's the same number of attacks for 10 targets as it's the same number of attacks for 30 targets. So if you have monsters in range, for instance, and doing a little math on the equation, imagine that you are doing, I don't know, like say 10,000, let's say 1,000 damage a hit, all right? And let's say that you're doing like a total of 30 hits as you pass through a pack of monsters. If there's only one monster in the pack and you hit that monster 30 times, so that's one monster times 1,000, that means that you're going to get 30, so 1 times 30 times 1,000, right? So you're going to get 30,000 damage to one monster, which is amazing. However, if you go through a pack of monsters and you're attacking, let's say 10 monsters, or sorry, let's say, yeah, 10 monsters, then you have to take your 10 and you have to divide it by your 30. So you have to actually like figure out how many attacks am I going to hit these monsters as I'm passing through. So you've got 10 monsters and you're attacking 30 times and you divide that by 30, and you get, or the other way around, 30 divided by 10, and you get basically 3 attacks per monster. Which is not really the greatest, right? And then you multiply that by your 1,000 and it equals like 3,000 damage total. The problem with Whirlwind is that it doesn't spread damage well, and it doesn't attack the monsters more than a certain number of times as you're passing through them. So what I've found with Whirlwind is that the larger your range, the worse the damage spreads. Now, the way that a lot of people have dealt with this in the past is they've rode the edges. It's called edging with your whirlwind. It's where you basically just kind of whirlwind around the edge of the pack. And the reason why you're whirlwinding around the edge of the pack is because if you whirlwind through the pack, you're going to spread your damage out too much and it's not going to kill anything. There's other ways that you can do this, however. One way that you can do this is by using zero range adder weapons. These are basically considered range 1. But the problem with this is that there's websites with conflicting information all over the place on this data. And this has to do with the fact that, like, every single weapon in the game has a different range base, and then they also have a range adder, which adds on to that base. And so the numbers end up being confused. But to simplify it as much as possible, if I walk into a pack of monsters with my fist and I punch, that is considered range 1. So range 1 equals a fist. Anything higher than range 1 is essentially more range than range 1, right? So, like, given an example, if you're using a Breath of the Dying in an axe as an example, like, say, a Berserker's Axe, I'm pretty sure the Berserker's Axe is range 3, or it's range adder 2, etc., blah, blah, blah. Let me look it up real quick. Axes. Alright, so here we have the axes. I'm going to look at the elite axes, and then we have the Berserker Axe, which is a pretty like solid target for Breath of the Dying. And as you can see, it says 2, right? So that's range adder 2 added to the base of 1, which means that it's a total of 3. This is a poor whirlwind weapon, and the reason why this is a poor whirlwind weapon is because it hits everything as you're going through. And unless your goal is to hit everything at least one time, which there are some, like, potential builds where you might want to hit everything at least one time. There's like a whirlwind poison barb that I've been working on where that would definitely be a good choice, is to hit everything on the way through. This is a bad choice if you're trying to kill a single target. More to the point, there's other problems, right? So, like, if you're spreading your damage out too much, the monsters regenerate. They have other problems. Like, for instance, they will generally kind of, like, move in and out, and you're not really focusing your damage on a specific target. And as they regenerate, like, you're just kind of, like, blowing smoke up somebody's butt. Like, you're not actually doing any damage. My experience has been that range adder 0 weapons are essentially better weapons for whirlwinding because they allow you to focus your damage better on a single target. You can whirlwind through a pack of monsters with a range adder 0 weapon, and you can kill monsters, individual monsters inside of a pack of monsters. And it works surprisingly well. But if you're using a range adder +2 weapon, like a Berserker Axe or something else, like they just generally don't tend to work very well for focusing that damage output. Now you can use these weapons and they can be successful, but you need specific modifiers. You need things like open wounds. You need things like prevent monster heal to stop the monster from regenerating. You also need to whirlwind differently than you probably are whirlwinding. You're going to have to whirlwind around the edge of the pack instead of whirlwinding through the pack. You have to make sure that you're whirlwinding properly. 2 weapons obviously is good, but if your sub weapon isn't very good, then that's an issue. You can't proc any effects when you're whirlwinding either, so no amplify damage, no decrepify, which does kind of suck. Speed is also very important. As I said, you're basically like, imagine a person who's like spinning in a circle and they've got like 2 daggers in their hands and they're going like this. Right? Like you're basically whirlwinding past a monster, and as you whirlwind past the monster, you're literally just doing this. Right? So the faster that you can attack, the more attacks you will get as you pass the monster. If you're attacking slowly, you get less attacks. In the past, two-handers used to be better because you got a free attack at the start of the whirlwind. This was actually super huge because, like, instead of having to build huge amounts of attack speed, you got this free attack that just came out at the beginning of the whirlwind, and it was like massive amounts of damage. But then what ended up happening was they changed the calculations. Now, single-handed weapons, so your one-handed weapons, actually also get a free attack, except they both get a free attack. So now dual wield always has 2 free attacks at the beginning, whereas the two-handers only get 1 free attack at the beginning, and it's made the one-handers better. If you want to know what I think the best whirlwinding weapons are, like bar none, without question, I'll show it to you right now. Here, hold on. Burp. That's the best one right there. Not grief, not breath of the dying, not a lot of other options. This is the best whirlwind weapon, like pretty much bar none. I've tested them. I tested dual griefs. I tested dual flesh rippers. I tested a death flesh ripper and a grief. I tested deaths. I tested all sorts of various things, one-handed and two-handed. And the moral of the story is that when I used a ethereal flesh ripper fang knife with a Zod rune in it, I was able to pinpoint accurately murder monsters with ease every single time without question. Like if there was a monster in the center of a pack and I wanted that monster dead, this weapon did it. In fact, the flesh rippers were faster at killing monsters in general than even dual griefs. And it had to do with the fact that the dual griefs were spreading their damage out too much across an entire pack of monsters, whereas the flesh rippers were literally focusing all the damage on one target as you passed, killing that target, and then focusing on the next target as you passed that one. And it worked way better. In general, though, like flesh rippers are kind of hard to come by. Might be a little bit harder to come by than a grief. The main reason why flesh rippers work is their limited range. They have essentially 0 range. If you make a grief and a phase blade, it is a 2 range weapon, I believe. It's range adder 1 plus the base, which is 2. Flesh ripper is a 0. It's basically a 0 range adder item that has a base range of 1, which means that when you're whirlwinding through, you essentially just hit the same target like 10,000 times. Like if you have an attack speed that allows you to attack 50 times, like as you're passing a target, like when you're using grief, it hits everything within range 50 times. But when you're using this, when you're using 2 of these, what happens is they can't hit anything because they have such a small radius. And so only the monster that's directly next to them is within range. And every single attack hits that one target. And it murders that target and then moves on to the next one. And it's absolutely amazing. And that's pretty much it. And moving on. Back to my cow levels. You guys are interrupting my cow levels. Cow level interrupters. Did I do the cow level in this round? Did already do the cow level. Anyway, it's the same. The problem with Path of Exile is the same problem with the freaking Spiritborn on Diablo 4. The Spiritborn is set up in such a way where like everything interacts with everything else, and all of the abilities are pretty much the same abilities that you use across every single character. And despite the fact that you have different builds on the Spiritborn, you know, obviously there's different main abilities, different core skills, or maybe you're running basic skills or whatever. Despite the fact that you're doing that, every supporting skill and defensive mechanic is exactly the same across the entire character, across all of the builds, to the point where literally every Spiritborn just comes off as very same feeling. It's actually gotten to the point where I don't want to play the Spiritborn anymore, because every time I build a Spiritborn character, it just feels like the same exact Spiritborn that I played last time. It's like, oh look, I'm using the same exact abilities and the same exact defensive mechanics and the same exact defensive layers and the same exact buffs and the same exact offensive abilities, like over and over and over again. And it even got to the point where I could literally take a character like the Spiritborn, I could sub in a different skill and like not even change out hardly anything. Like, it was literally to the point where I could just take the character, sub out something else, and it was like, oh, I don't even have to re-kit or re-gear or anything. Like, it's literally, I'm literally just using, like, 90% all the same pieces of equipment. Like, the only thing I changed really was the weapon. Like, the main aspect on the weapon, and, like, that was about it. And, like, half of them don't even use a different weapon. Half of them are literally using the same exact weapon that the other build is using. Like, it's like, oh, I want to do a Spiritborn, and you're like, okay, and then you literally change out to another build, and you're like, oh, everything's the same, including the weapon. And I like, might have, like, moved a couple aspects here or there, but it's literally just the same exact character, again, with a different main skill. And while the Spiritborn may have that problem as a class, like, it's an epidemic on Path of Exile. Like, every single character on Path of Exile is essentially using almost the same exact equipment, the same exact items, the same exact freaking, you know, like, uniques. It's just the same exact character over and over and over again. Where did you run to, Rockanishu? No, come back here and die. I gotta make sure I kill him, because he has some chances to drop some pretty good set items.
Impossible.
I really wish it wasn't the case. And with the exception of the Ascendancies, like, I don't know. I think the Ascendancies are like the only thing that differentiate characters at this point. And even then, like, the Ascendancies themselves are not differentiating enough as a general rule. It's kind of an odd thing with the Ascendancies, is that, like, they're all very formulaic. Kind of similar to how we were talking about R.A. Salvatore the other day, and how a lot of R.A. Salvatore's books are very formulaic, in that they all follow, like, the same exact guidelines and principles of, like, writing the story. So you end up with what ends up being like a extremely similar story across the board, even if it's not exactly the same. Like, even if you're changing the name of the character or like the you know, the name of a sword or something, or the name of a town. Like in R.A. Salvatore's books, a lot of them end up being extremely similar to one another in a very, you know, like repetitious way. Despite the fact that they're different books with different names, right? So you would think, you know, hey, this is a different book with a different name. It should be a different story. But then you read it, and it's not really. It's like the same exact story, just somebody's playing a trick on you or something. You're like, is this a hidden camera special or something? Like, what's going on?
The
What is
dude's a genius. He's mastered the search and replace.
it, it honestly seems like that.
One book,
There was one story
make
I
it into
read.
50.
It was I can't remember the exact name of the story, but like I read the story and I liked it. I thought it was really good. And then I found out there was a sequel, and the sequel took place like 500 years later or something, is what it said. And I started reading the book, and I was like, "What is this? Is this just a copy and paste of the first book series?" It's like it's literally the same exact story. And I remember I read it all the way through, and it was just everything was identical: the beginning, the middle, the end, all the high points, the low points. Like they had just changed all the names of the characters and the names of all the cities and stuff, and like sometimes they referenced back to the old story, but like it was literally the same exact story with changed names. But like that's my point with the ascendancies, is that a lot of the ascendancies are also very samey in that same regard. Like they seem to be this really weird formulaic style of like, okay, you get damage bonus thing here, you get defensive layer thing here, here's random utility item, etc. Right? And so like anytime you pick an ascendancy, you're always gonna get that. You got me up on the TV, Elemist? I keep getting like feedback from your microphone. Dude, they keep dropping me these freaking stupid Arcanis Caps. God, every single time. Just got a blood fist from him too. That's an excellent drop. It's too bad I can't use it or anything.
Oh, that is too bad.
It's too bad. I don't know. Another problem that the Ascendancies have in Path of Exile is that, like, some of them are just too good. Like, there's a couple standout, like, Ascendancies on in the Path of Exile, too. And, like, they're so good that, like, half the time you're never going to choose anything other than that one. It was like when the Huntress came out and we were looking at the Deadeye Ascendancy, and we're like, the Deadeye Ascendancy just has better stuff. Like it's a really, really good ascendancy, and the Huntress ascendancy that gives you damage from your what was it, the accuracy rating was like super good for specific classes, and it like stands out way above all the others. I tried it like 4 different times, Jesse, over many years, but most of the time I'm talking about Path of Exile 2, because I don't particularly like Path of Exile 1. We've already talked about this.
Not enough mana.
If I stack 12 Arcanis Helms, I need 12 Arcanis Helms at this point. Let's just keep the ball rolling. Let's just keep it rolling, my friends.
Maybe there's a hidden set recipe. 2 Arcana Helm.
2 Arcana Helm plus 7 Catholic
And
Ring, Paraffin Rings.
or a TP tome or something.
Did he die? I must have died.
I need a key. It's locked.
Oh, do I not have a third? Oh.
I feel like the problem that I'm talking about with Path of Exile is very, like, unique to someone who actually builds, like, multiple characters like I do. Like, it's not something that you generally see if you only build, like, 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 characters. Like, I made so many characters between, like, Path of Exile 2 launch and Path of Exile 2, like, expansion. Well, not expansion. What was it? Like, the first major content update. I started to see it relatively quickly. Same thing with the Spiritborn. Like, most people might not see it with the Spiritborn either. But, I don't know, what did I make? Like, frickin' like 10 different Spiritborn? I don't even know. Like, I had at least, like, 6 different Spiritborn characters, and then I played at least, like, 10 or 15 different Spiritborn, like, builds. To the point of ridiculousness. And yeah, it's something that only really comes up to people who are going to play, like, multiple of a character, I think. Oh, I got the cap and the buckler, and I got a club. An ethereal.
Hello.
Is that really an ethereal stout nail? Or is that ethereal fell oak? Oh, I got Sanders Paragon. I've got, like, almost the entire freaking Paragon set at this point. That's kind of hilarious.
Greetings.
It actually does have Magic Find on it. I mean, technically it's better because it has 35% Magic Find. So, I mean, we can play around with it. What's the 3-piece bonus on this? 75 attack rating. Why is it always so bad? Does it get any 2 pieces? It's got no 2 pieces. Eye of Winter is not Frozen Orb. I feel like you're looking through rose-tinted glasses, Jesse. Like there are abilities in the Path of Exile that sort of-ish, maybe, kind of resemble their original counterparts in Diablo 2, but they're not the skills from Path of Exile 2. They're really not. Like, Eye of Winter is, like, nowhere near as good as Frozen Orb. It's not even close. It's not even close to as good as Frozen Orb, I'm sorry. Like, I used it. I thought it was Frozen Orb at first. I played around with it. I tried to build around it. It's not Frozen Orb. Like, it's not. It's like a cheap Temu knockoff of Frozen Orb. It's Temu Orb.
Teamy Orb, eh?
And that's been my, like, experience across the board with a lot of the skills in Path of Exile, is that they're, like, Temu knockoffs of, like, Diablo 2 abilities. I found some interesting, unique, like, you know, options that are not in Diablo 2. Like, some very interesting choices that are not Diablo 2 choices, but, like, for the most part, like, there's really not a lot of, like, equivalent characters in Path of Exile. It seems like they went out of their way to avoid making equivalent characters. I don't like how their curses work. I don't like how their auras work. I don't like how a lot of their stuff works in Path of Exile. It kind of boggles my mind that like you can have a company, a person who's like played, you know, X game for such a period of time and is supposedly like a big fan of that particular game, but then like completely misses some of the most basic elements of what made that game special. I mean, like, taking a look at the Paladin, for example. The Paladin's, one of his, like, two of his 3 trees are literally auras. That's it. 2 out of his 3 trees are auras. And he has some of the most amazing combat abilities, like, in existence. And, like, not a single dang game has managed to copy that properly. Like, just, like, how hard is it to make a character that has auras? How hard is it to make an attack like Zeal that hits 5 times in a row, like that actually does good damage and, you know, like functions the right way? Like, I haven't seen a single game with like a Zeal counterpart ever. Like there's nothing that simulates that amazingness of Zeal. And it's like, oh, like here's this ability that's so amazing that it would be absolutely great if another game put it in. And then, like, nobody does it. Like, Path of Exile 1, they literally supposedly copied Diablo 2, and it's not the same as Zeal. Like, it doesn't work the same as Zeal. It's like they deliberately take Zeal, look at how it functions, and then make something different because they're afraid if they put Zeal into the game that it'll be, like, the best melee ability and no one will ever want to use anything else. And you know what the truth is? Is it pretty much is the best melee ability. Like, it is, and maybe that's exactly why they're afraid. They don't want to put Zeal in because they're afraid it'll just dominate the entire meta.
Impossible.
Like I said, cheap imitations. You're talking about making your Diablo 2 characters in Path of Exile, and I'm calling them cheap imitations. Yeah, I can create the characters over there and make them work somewhat similar to what they worked in Diablo 2, but they're just cheap imitations. They're Timu. It's my Timu Zeal Paladin. With no auras. Oh, curses too. Like, oh my god, don't even get me started. Freaking curses are so good in Diablo 2. Like, I'll never really understand why they made curses the way they did in Path of Exile and Path of Exile 2. They're so bad. They are so bad. Like, how hard is it to make an ability that you cast on a target and instantly causes a curse to appear on the target's head? Like, how hard is that? It seems to be extremely hard because nobody's done it. They had to put some sort of gimmicky little thing on there, and then they had to, like, nerf the curses to make them, like, super weak. And then not only that, like, they made the curses, like, so specific to, like, various, like, builds that you would potentially use them in, that they're essentially like hyper specialized curses as opposed to broadly general curses like the Necromancer has access to. And because they're hyper specialized curses, they're also hyper useless in like 99% of all scenarios. Like, if you took a look at a Necromancer's skill tree and you said, okay, look at these curses, like how many of these would be useful to me on a given situation? And like, you know what the funny thing is they're basically all useful for the most part. Like, and they all have their specific scenarios, like the toolbox applications that you would use them in, and you can swap back and forth between them, and they're great one-point wonders. You don't have to dump like a whole bunch of points or like abilities into it to make them work properly. And then like they were just, you know, and then Path of Exile, they're just like, you know what, let's make them hyper-specialized, let's put a delay on them, let's make them absolutely useless for the majority of people that want to actually use them. And then the people that actually do use them, let's make them so useless that even the people that are going to use them are going to second guess life at choosing this option. They're going to be like, you know, I could have 2 curses, or I could just do something more useful. I could just do something more useful for my character. And then they decide to do something more useful for their character because the curses aren't even that big of an increase in damage.
Impossible.
Mizan, my friend. Mizan, my buddy. Mizan, my friend. I gotta get him, like, super geared out. Gotta get him decked to the nines. And oh my god, like, speaking of characters that should have been good but weren't, let's talk about the Crusader. What the hell went wrong with the freaking Crusader, man? Like, how did they mess up something so easy? Talrosh's Amulet, let's go! Suburbs icon.
Suburbs. Rip.
That's such a poopy amulet.
Such a poopy amulet.
Like, Crusader is the weirdest interpretation of the Paladin that I've ever seen. It's like somebody took everything good about the Paladin and then removed it and focused on, like, only the bad parts of what made the Paladin the Paladin. They were like, you know what, let's focus on being a Hammerden and not Tidbring Zealin, and let's just make a weird version of Vengeance that sucks, and let's give them auras that are terrible, and then, you know, let's make the Monk as well, and the Monk is going to have better auras than the Crusader does. I swear the Monk had, like, way better auras than the Crusader did in Diablo 3. I remember playing the Monk, and I was like, why is the Monk the better Paladin? I'm like, why is this Monk literally a better Paladin than the frickin' Crusader is?
He's a better holy man.
Dude, he was. He frickin' was.
He worships the better god. Poor Pally.
I can't.
First hate key. 1 tear key, 1 hate key in 7 runs. Oh no, 6 runs. Not terrible. Oh, yes.
Does everybody still
Get
need
off,
torches
get
or something?
ready.
Are we
I don't
still
know.
at a point where everybody needs a lot of torches? I mean, farming
I
the
think
keys
there's
is
like a
definitely
bunch of
never a bad thing,
sorceresses
but...
that still have it, but no, I'm mostly
Oh,
I'm just building my own key set right now.
Well, Sorks know what they were getting
Maybe
into
for trade.
when they picked a sorceress in the first place.
I need a
It's like,
key.
you do realize...
There's no excuse for sorceresses not to just run their own keys. You got teleport, for God's sake.
Well,
Run those keys.
Well, no, I mean, like, in general, the Sork torches are the most valuable ones and also the most sought after, so, like, they know what they're getting into when they pick a sorceress.
Yeah, more they should know, for sure.
I mean, I tell people all the time that picking a less used class in Diablo is actually very effective early on because you're able to get your equipment at a much cheaper rate than everybody else who's playing the, you know, the popularized character that, you know, is going to have obviously the high cost. Everything's going to be like ridiculously expensive for that character just simply because it's the popular character for the season.
Yep. It's pretty wild. They still are more valuable than Assassin. Paladin and Sork, I think, are still more valuable
Yeah,
than
because
Assassin torches.
because you can't run an assassin to start out with and be like a ridiculously strong character.
Sure. You know.
None of the characters, like, for the most part, can just like go into the game, farm everything, get all the items they want, and then go back and build another character. Like, that's basically what the whole thing around the sorceress is, that people choose the sorceress because it's one of the highest skill-based damage characters. It is very easy to build early on. You have Cold Mastery, which strips away cold resistance. You get yourself a Sunder, and you can pretty much just farm the entire game, like with ease. But you know, like later on, once you have your equipment and your monies, once you got the doll hairs, you can crowdfund your own hyper specialized character like a Hammerdin or a Mosaic Sin or any of the other crap.
It's just kind of ironic because I honestly I never feel like I am missing a torch with a sorceress. It's like you're plenty powerful. Because I mean, even right now, I'm using a not even a stacked fire sorceress. I'm a hybrid fire sorceress, and I'm walking through the game pretty easily. I don't have cap res because with teleport, you can reposition, and yeah, you can be squishy as heck, but you just hardly ever get hit. Or if you do, then you just back out, telly out of there, reassess.
Impossible.
Unique amulet. Eye of Etlich. That's actually, I think, the first time I've seen that name in this ladder. At least it's not a Mahi Moke or a Nokazan, like the last 10 have been.
Is a chinchilla poisonous? What? Are you planning on eating it? I fear that I will not answer this question lest it lead to a chinchilla being on a dinner plate. Are you gonna be eating a chinchilla, sir? Because I would highly recommend against that. They're mainly just fluff. And also they make much better pets. Please don't eat your chinchilla, sir.
Greetings.
Please don't eat your chinchilla. Speaking of chinchillas, my chinchilla cam is not on because I was doing the horror game yesterday. Where are you, chinchilla cam? Boop.
Afternoon.
Yeah, speaking of torches, got these extra 2 necro torches. Nobody's ever wanted them. They just sit here. So technically we do have extra torches, just not the one anybody wants.
Showing their neck exercises? You mean sucking his wiener? One of my
Whoa.
chinchillas sat on the wheel and sucked his wiener on
Oh,
camera.
that's right. That's right.
That was really quite rude, Mr. Dusty. He's like, they
Demonetized.
want a show? I'm gonna give them a show. Time to give them a good show. They call me the Big Show.
Well, are they like those desert mice that like they don't actually pee, they just like
No, they pee. They pee.
push out like a hard rock of urine or something? Like
No,
it's not actually
no, they
they don't
pee.
waste water like that.
No,
Oh,
they
okay.
pee. I
They're
mean,
not
they
that extreme.
yeah, that sounds a little. That's a little extreme. That's like Arrakis Desert Dune extreme there.
Yeah. Yeah. It just did not seem pleasant. Poor little mouse. It's like
The Order welcomes you.
You gotta save water.
puts out a urea turd or whatever.
No, they pee every now and then.
Oh, that's right, because like they would pee on you sometimes, right? They'd kind of give you the signal, and you
They do
like
the pee-pee
grab them, be
dance.
like, no, you don't.
They do the pee-pee
Don't do
dance. It's a pee-pee dance. I know the pee-pee dance. I said, I know the
Gotcha.
pee-pee dance. I know pee-pee dance on me.
Impossible.
Pee-pee dance. They start doing like, they start shuffling their back legs and doing the pee-pee dance.
I need mana.
Oh.
Not enough mana.
It's good they gave a warning.
I don't think it's so much a warning as it's just like, as it's
Part of the process.
It's just part of the process. Yeah, exactly. It's just part of the process. Like I'm pretty sure that's just what they do before they line up the shot. Essentially,
Gotcha.
they're just lining up the shot. I don't know why I'm identifying the boots I can't use. At least I
Money.
got some magic
That's
find
why.
now. I'm sitting on 75% magic find for me, and I've got 80% magic find for the mercenary. So if the mercenary gets the killing blow, I get the two get to be combined together.
Nice. Which, yeah, why were you cubing up topaz? Just so you could use the socket quest on a set item to put a topaz in? Is that the
I found
strategy?
socketed rare items, and I
Oh,
put them in the
for the
in the
merc.
mercenary. So I
Okay,
got two perfect
sure.
topazes in his helmet, and I got two regular plain topazes in his armor. It's not really a good armor, so
Okay. Yeah, so it's not for yourself, but
I mean,
no, you do.
it's such a
What would you do? Well, I guess you want to find like the best set item possible to socket if you were gonna burn a socket quest, I
well, yeah. I've
suppose,
only
for
got 3
yourself.
socket quests, so like
Yeah.
my one of my assumption was is that since I'm a caster and I need plus the skills, that a Saigon shield would be a really good option.
Oh, that'd be
And
worth
if
the
I could
socket.
socket
Yeah.
a Saigon shield, put a perfect diamond in it, that would probably be like one of the best choices early on. Just get myself some
Yep.
skills and some resistances, and move on
I can
essentially.
Yep.
I don't know if there would be a better option for the shield slots. I mean, there's not a lot of shields. There's obviously there's like the Hasara set, which does give cannot be frozen, but I currently have the sash. So, I mean, I don't necessarily need cannot be frozen as a sorceress either. So I'm not 100% sure whether I'm going to use one of these 3 death sashes in here, but we'll see. And then there's Cleglaws, which Cleglaws is not really a good set for sorceresses. It's a melee set, mainly. Especially good
Yep.
for Blade Fury and stuff like that, so I don't really know if that's really that great either. What other choices are there? There's Saigons, Hasaris, Cleglaws. There's also that really high level shield that's like maxed out. What is it? The Heaven's Brethren set. I don't think that's a good one
Oh,
either.
good luck finding that. I'm
Um,
actually thinking. I think a full nauseous set is possible, but not until you get into hell. Maybe you get the helm early, but to get the staff and especially the
the
armor, I think
problem with
is
Naja's
only a hell.
is the level requirement. Even if I had
Yeah,
Naja's right now, even if I had a
you
full
could
Naja's set, I couldn't wear it.
71.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure the armor is like ridiculously high level.
it's 71. So it's not crazy, but it's gonna be a while for sure.
Naj's Ancient Vestige. Yeah, so the armor is 71 and the staff is level 78.
Oh, the staff is even higher. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not even in the realm of like it's like it'll be at, like even if I did have the full
yeah.
set right
It'd be
now,
very in game.
it would be at the
Yeah,
end of my entire playthrough I'd
just
finally be able to put it on.
just before you kill Hellbound.
Might kill him before that, you never know.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those
The clay gauze,
odd
especially if you're
sets.
an enchantress right now. I think the clay gauze is definitely good boss killing. Just get in there and melee them with the crushing blow.
Just whack
If
him.
you get the full set.
Just give him
Yeah,
some
just whack 'em.
thwacks. Just whack him.
And then you want to go back to the angelics, obviously, for your magic find for the ultimate kill,
Just
but
give him some thwacks,
just to
guys.
work them down.
Just whack him. Just give him thwacks. It's okay. I don't know. I was thinking about like the whole samey thing, and I don't know how you even fix it. Like the Spiritborn doesn't have a like a ridiculously big passive tree like Path of Exile 1, and I don't even think like I don't know if there's a way to fix that one either. I think the term over-engineered comes into play. I think that's the term. Over-engineered. I think the Spiritborn was engineered very well. Too well, in fact. And I think that the reason why the Spiritborn has the issue in the first place of where all the builds feel the same is because they did a really good job synergizing all the abilities and making sure that everything worked together. And so, like, at the end of the day, when you're finished, that all the builds end up being the same because you're choosing the optimal choices, essentially. And all the optimal choices are the same across, like, all the characters. All the builds, essentially. It's a weird problem to have in a game. I don't know exactly what it is that they did to create that monstrosity. It's still a fun character to play. I mean, it's there, I guess. Once you get bored of it and you don't want to play it anymore, you just kind of like don't go back to it after a while. You're like, ah, yeah. Don't you want to try out a new build on this character? Well, yeah, no, I don't know. They're kind of all the same. But they added a new item, yeah, but it's just like the same build I was playing last season, but with like a new item. It's like one change. It's not enough. But then, like, at least with the Spiritborn, it's only that one class, and it doesn't like spread. It's not like a viral disease that spread to the rest of the game. Like in Path of Exile, it's like a viral disease because all the characters share the same panel, and because they all say they share the same panel, they all have the same problem.
Yes,
if it-
Corune from the Countess.
If it wasn't for the weapons and the ascendancies, they literally just would be all the same character.
Impossible.
I think the weapons is another one of the small differentiating factors. I remember when I first went into Path of Exile 2, I was like, oh my god, there's so many choices here. It's going to be so many options. Like, so many different ways I can build a character. So many different, like, choices of uniques and all this other stuff. And I was like, oh man, this seems like almost like an infinite amount of choices. And then I started making characters. I built, like, I don't know, what was it, like 10 or 12 characters, or like freaking, there was some ridiculous number of characters. And I started to realize that, like, there wasn't an infinite number of choices, that, like, the choices kind of, like, all boiled down to the same exact choices on every single character. And I realized that my characters weren't so unique, because they were all just, like, the same exact character multiple times in a row. And after a while, it kind of wore on me a little bit, because, like, all the characters were just, like, the same character with, like, minor tweaks.
The Order welcomes you.
It gets kind of boring when, like, there's no definitive choices or like things that you could do to like make your character better over another character. Just kind of feels the same. Some of the stuff stands out. Like, there's some standout options. Not a lot, but there's some standout options. Leather, quilted armor, a spear. Ooh, a flawless ruby. I mean, I'm not exactly sure what the best setup would be, but I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be mad at full Arathas just to give me the resistances I needed to survive. Full Arathas is nice for defensive purposes, but it doesn't give you any offense. So that's another thing that you kind of have to take into account. You're like,
Ooh, but sir, it gives you piercing attack, and if you get oh no, I'm gonna stop myself there. Dang it. You can't use a unique bow
What do you need?
for enchant
no,
and whatnot. Dang it.
can't use that. It's really quite limiting, isn't it, when you can only use
Yeah.
set items?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can put the. Have you gotten a Vidalas? Anything? Like if you get
I've
the
got the Vidalis
Vidalas,
bow, that's it. Yeah, but then you have
okay.
the piercing, but you don't
Get
have the exploding
piercing.
arrow.
No, yeah, but it still gives you at least something. You're not
Mm,
single target completely. It's not world bending, but
world bending.
I mean, it's something.
Is that part of the airbenders? Like, was that in the last Avatar or whatever? The world benders.
World benders.
They bend the entire world.
I can't.
Yeah, it's not earth shattering, but it's something. You can potentially hit two things instead of one, or kind of multiple things instead of one if they're in a straight line.
I'm just focusing on gearing up right now. It'd be nice to have like something in every slot. That would be like a goal that I want to achieve. And then like getting a decent amount of magic fund certainly doesn't hurt either. Freaking gnat keeps leave me alone. You mean little gnat. Like, why are you being a jerk to me? What did I do to you? Apparently Khan sent a gnat to come kill me.
True story.
Just
My
he's
attack
got like a
gnat
little commando like
finally arrived.
bandana
I did send
on
them
and
last
everything.
Christmas.
I mean, it takes a while for him to get here.
Yeah, gnats don't travel very fast.
Yeah, what are their issues?
I remember like the day that I learned a very silly factoid, which is like houseflies don't live very long. In fact, if you look up like the average lifespan of a housefly, like they don't live more than like a couple days.
I can't.
And like you know how like you might have that one fly in your house you're trying to get rid of, and like every single time it seems like he just somehow manages to evade you, and like you can't ever get rid of him.
Just wait him out.
Well, like
He'll die.
but like he's still there, like a week later, or 2 weeks later, or 3 weeks later, or like a month later. Like there's still that one fly that's just like hanging on somehow. And then like I figured out that like so if you look up like the average lifespan of a fly, adult fly, average lifespan. It's about, so they said about 15 to 30 days is about how long they can live. Life expectancy of a housefly. So anyway, if you've got a housefly that's like bothering the crap out of you for a really long period of time, and it seems like it never dies, like, depending on how long it's been around, like you could be dealing with like the descendants of the fly, and like the descendants of the descendants of the fly. Like, we've been hounding this fool for generations. Some of them are even less. It depends on the breed. Like, there's different kinds of flies. There's, like, house flies, corpse flies, gnats, all sorts of other things. Large axe and a spike club. That is the poopies, is what that is. I'm just glad my character's not naked. Not naked is good.
I mean, you pretty much beat normal naked, right? And then it's really been the cows that have
Yeah, but normal naked is
filled you out.
normal naked's easy.
Yeah, not too bad.
like, I don't want to be a mean guy, but sometimes, like, I can't help but laugh, like, when people tell me they have trouble getting through, like, normal difficulty, and
Yeah.
I'm like,
Like
man,
even if it's a war of attrition, like you can get through it.
like,
You can
it's
just
like slow and
jank out your
steady,
skills all over the place and just be
all
terrible
over,
about
like,
it.
1 point in
Just
bone
keep hitting the
spear, like,
monster. You will get through. You can't do it.
like, it will happen eventually. You
I
put your
mean,
mind to
normal
it.
Duriel, I could see getting, stuck if you truly are just new to the game and just
I mean,
he
Duriel
is
might
very
slap your
tough
cheeks,
because
but I mean,
yeah,
at the same
but you
time, like
still can just run back to him.
uh-huh.
It'll take a while, but yeah, you even if you run out of TPs, just if you die, you just keep running back to him, bonk him once. He will die eventually, technically. So even that, yeah, Duriel is possible. Not gonna be fun.
Well, there's a reason why they made it so that the bosses don't regenerate.
Mhm.
Bosses don't have regeneration specifically for that reason. So you can literally just keep coming
Is
back and
that
attacking them over and over and over again.
is that really a thing in Hell though? I
Mm-hmm.
swear Hell Bale has healed,
Well, the only
but
monsters that
maybe I've
heal
been
are
smoking something.
the only bosses that heal are like the Ubers and like Uber Diablo and like
Okay.
Pandemonium Diablo and stuff.
Okay. Man, I feel like I've had an
Elites
issue
can
where
regenerate.
Hell Bale has, but maybe I was just imagining it.
Hmm. I feel like maybe socketing Sanders Paragon with a perfect topaz might not be a bad idea.
What Paragon, sir? Oh, the helm.
It's the
That's
Magic
pretty
Fine
good.
helmet. It's a
Yeah.
terrible helmet, but it has Magic Fine on it.
Yeah.
Duriel's just a jerk, okay? He's the first
He
troll in
is.
the entire game. He even has a troll line. Like, that was a booby
I
trap
bet
that
if
was
you
set up for you.
look.
He literally goes, looking for Bale, and he laughs at you.
Impossible.
I bet if you look into the text files, his like drop table is like the header is troll drop.
No, I think what they did was, and it's really simple, I mean, once you understand what the hell they were trying to do. If you go into the portal, there's no portal out, right?
Yes.
So, like, there was probably a situation, maybe in, like, an earlier version, where maybe Tyrael didn't make the portal to go home or something, or maybe they hadn't thought about that yet, and they wanted to make sure that the player had a Scroll of Town portal, so that they weren't, like, stuck. And I think that's exactly what happened. I think they added some sort of line for Duriel to drop Scrolls of Town portal just in case people got stuck inside of there. And I think it's more specifically to do with the non-quest version. Because with the quest version, Tyrael is always there, as far as I'm aware, to open up a portal for you. But I think with the non-quest version, I don't think there is always a Tyrael there to open up a portal for you. Which means that if you go in there and you don't happen to have a Book of Town portal with you, and you don't have a scroll with you, and you kill Duriel, like, there's a good chance that you could end up stuck in there. And I think that's all they did. I think they just added the scrolls to his table, and they didn't, like, do it properly, so now he drops, like, 7 scrolls for some reason. I think they had the best intentions, which was literally just to make sure that players didn't get stuck down there. But it just... it did not work the way that they intended. Let's just say that much. I believe the intention was okay, but you know, what is the saying? The path to hell is paved with good intentions. Poor Duriel and his trash drops. I feel like they should just like permanently quest bug Duriel, because there is a way to quest bug him and it's really stupid. And Duriel's drops would go up significantly if he could be quest bugged. He's also relatively difficult to farm, since you have to know what the correct tomb is, and you have to actually like go through that point. It would almost be like a very interesting way to reward players that farm the summoner, because you farm the summoner and then you would know exactly which tomb,
Yeah.
and then
Then
you
you
would
know.
then you would just like, oh, okay, I know which tomb it is, and then you would just go really quickly and go kill Duriel. But
I actually have been doing that. Well, I did it. I'm not doing it right now, but I did a few like 10 runs like that because I actually did bug him on a mule that I rushed through.
oh my god, Tancred's military pick.
I can't.
Oh, I just dropped Arctic light belt.
Is that my first piece of Tancred's?
I thought you got the amulet.
I don't know if I do have the amulet.
Or
I've
maybe
got a
that was somebody
Ratha's and
else.
I got Siverbs.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Well, he's definitely dropping more stuff now that I've got more magic finds, so. Siverbs is, I think, completely useless to me, but, I mean, I do have the amulet right here. Tancred's is not completely useless. It does have a purpose. If I manage to find the amulet, I could potentially utilize that for a large magic find bonus. Not a bad combination for magic finding, but only magic finding specifically. It would have no, like, real benefit to my character, like damage-wise or like faster cast or mana or anything like that. It's would literally just be for that one purpose and that one purpose alone. Give me 78% magic find, please. I'd rather have the boots, though, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah, the only thing Siverb's set would give you is like 22 mana. It's nothing. It's that set bonus that's the only set bonus that's gonna like help you. The rest is just okay, some attack rating and poison res, defense, some cold res. Yeah.
Impossible.
But it's not like you don't have space to keep it, so might as well.
I mean, yeah, until I run out of space. I mean, keep all the options, and that way, if I find specific pieces that allow me to perform specific things, I mean.
Mhm.
I mean, who knows what the optimal, like, setup is for this character.
Well,
Something that
full
nobody-
rations. Well,
Something nobody would ever, like, even consider.
yeah, maybe there's something undiscovered.
A belt. Is that Hasaris? Is that a Hasaris belt? No, not Hasaris. Hawanans. A two-sock of Bardiche. A Bardiche. A Bardiche.
Okay, let's see. This ring has got to be a Sode, right? Yes. Ah, Nagel. Dang it.
A Bardiche. Hawanans has prevent monster heal, damage taken goes to mana, defense based on character level. Has basically no stats that I need. I can't really take advantage of the prevent monster heal. The lightning damage is useless to me. The damage taken goes to mana is okay if I want to get wailed on. Well, it's got defense. I don't know.
But if you get the other pieces, get that static proc on the Merc, it's kind of nice. Even though you kind of already have static, but having static happen where he is in combat is nice. So you don't have to get in there yourself.
Am I gonna dual spec in Nightmare? I don't really know. Maybe. I don't really like doing the frozen orb thing.
What?
Feels,
Frozen orbs
feels
like
really,
my favorite skill. So pretty.
Yeah, but like on a character with no plus to skills and like it's not really gonna be the best ability in the world, that's for sure.
Interesting. I felt like it's probably one of the top skills for like a damage per low point investment, I would say.
Yes?
Yeah, it's not amazing.
No, I know.
It's got
It's
some
it's the only skill really that works well in a like a dual spec between like fire and cold. Can't really do
Yeah.
anything else because all the other ones have too high of a synergy requirement and they just don't really work.
I just don't really work. Yeah.
It's not really
Yeah,
it's not really a
I think
choice.
it's really
It's if you're doing a
because of
dual
cold
spec, it's like one
mastery.
of the only things that
Cold
works.
mastery. Yeah. And you're at firewall, so yeah, firewall orb.
I've done firewall orb before.
Yeah.
Not
So
with
I
no
think
plus.
technically,
Not with no plus to skills though.
yeah. Yeah, but without having them somewhat synergized, going through hell is going to be tough to fight their regen. I mean, you've got to prevent monster heal piece, but you have to bonk them for that to apply, right? So that's a little
Bonk.
unfortunate.
He'll bonk every one of us. He's the bunker of the universe. A scepter, a spear, a hard leather armor, an ethereal hard leather armor.
Well, actually, your prevent monster heal is your firewall, right? So as long as they're not immune to fire, that's a really solid prevent monster heal kind of esque thing that doesn't require bonking.
I can't carry anymore.
I shall bonk. I shall bonk. Don't tell me what to do. Checking all the rare items for either A, money, B, something for the mercenary, or C,
At your service.
you know, that thing with the Holy Bolt earlier where I was doing the testing on whether the Holy Bolt could heal a player or not, if given from the mercenary, and then it not healing the player, really has me wondering whether the mercenaries aren't just considered monsters.
Well, I think they absolutely are. They're much more a monster framework. I think that's right. Because they don't have vitality or energy like we do.
Well, it's worse than that. Like, it seems like they literally are a monster, and like they only seem to have player skills like by proxy or something. Like they're just like handed to them somehow. But even then, like the player skills don't work properly when they're in their hands. Like prevent monster heal doesn't work on mercenaries. Regeneration doesn't seem to work on mercenaries. They can't seem to fire off a healing holy bolt, and that seems to be deliberate.
Mm-hmm.
Leo.
What's up? I heard somebody. Who was that? Was that Leon?
Yep. Hello.
Wow. It was really low at first.
Solo.
It was solo.
Like Han? As in Han?
Yeah, Leon knows what I'm talking about when I talk about like Path of Exile having like, and the Spiritborn, like where all the builds just kind of feel really samey. He knows what I'm talking about. Because he's played just as many of those characters as I have. Like he probably did like just as many builds with the Spiritborn when it launched. It was like every single build was using the same weapon, pretty much.
Yep. Yeah, Rada Kapalecki. Although
I mean, like,
Wushy can do it too now. But
Yeah, dude, Wuxia is right up there. Like Wuxia Knockpaw has like almost every build can use Wuxia Knockpaw in some way. It's like universally a good item, but it also universally just kind of like makes it weird. Like I could just take that item and put it on any character and not even worry about it.
trying to see when this Titan Quest 2 is coming. Kind of interested in trying this game. Did
I
you
mean,
see anything about it?
I've heard about it. I saw like the trailer when it was there. Like they released the like the peak trailer. I know one game is coming up recently that I think would be really cool, like to play together, is Neverwinter Nights 2 Enhanced Edition. Neverwinter Nights 2 Enhanced Edition comes out on the 15th, 2 days from now. It's basically souped up Baldur's Gate. Like
Yeah,
BG1, BG2, Icewind Dale, they were all before Neverwinter Nights, and then Neverwinter Nights 2. Neverwinter Nights 1 came out after all those, and then Neverwinter Nights 2 came out after Neverwinter Nights 1. But it was like several expansions later. Like I don't even know how to like really even place Neverwinter Nights 2. Like it's like a 9th generation game or something like that in that same genre.
Not enough mana.
It does have multiplayer, like online multiplayer and all sorts of other stuff. It's not a bad game. I remember playing online on the servers. I thought it was really cool. It was one of the first games that I played online, like besides Diablo 2, that actually felt like it was really cool to play online.
Greetings.
Another Arcanis Skullcap, man. What is this like? What is that, like the 8th or 9th Arcanis Skullcap I found so far? There is no solid date for Titan Quest 2. One of the things said winter 2024. Another one says 2025. On June 7th, they showed off a summer showcase. In the summer showcase on 2025. They released a build example video 1 week ago. It's very detailed. I have no idea what I'm looking at. Oh, sounds like it's behind schedule. That's what it sounds like. I saw that Path of Exile 2 finally put out their, was it like the date?
Release date?
Yeah, release date for the next, well, the Druid, basically, right?
Oh,
I
sweet.
can't.
Well, probably. Probably Druid. Could be. Surprise. Might get an act or might get all 3 acts. Who knows?
at this point, we really need to add some more acts, because... we need some more storyline here. There's only so many maps I can do. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of this whole, like...
Good day.
I have to call it, like, Diablo 3 adventure mode. It's basically what this is, like, where games ignore the entire, like, story and the seasonal, you know, like, the general gist of, like, what made the game special, and then just, like, they're like, okay, that was cool, that was the story, and then they, like, pick it up in a box, and they just, like, place it over here, and they're like, okay, that was the story. Now here's the end game, and it's like a completely different thing than the story. And I like the way that Diablo 2 but it did it better, honestly. Like in Diablo 2, like the game is the game, but the game is also the end game, and they're one in the same, and it's much cooler that way. Yeah, I understand why Diablo 3 did it. Like Diablo 3 separated out the end game from the story because the story area was just like horribly confusing, and nobody even knew what the hell was going on half the time, or where to go back to fight like X monster or whatever. Like it was not a good like layout for a game. But I don't think I really enjoy the whole like maps thing, and it seems like too separate from the way the game actually is. Like too many of the games nowadays, they're like, okay, here's the story. All right, you finished the story. Okay, now here's a completely separate game mode that has nothing to do with the story. This is where you're gonna live now. You're in this box. This is your box. Live in this box. There's got to be a better way to do it than that. It's got to be. Look, another Arcanis skull cap. I'm so tired of taking these things back to town and selling them.
Well, if I knew, then I'd be making the best game ever. But I don't know. So I'm at the mercy of other creative people.
Wow, 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 wow. A multi-element
All right.
paladin
I'm gonna
around.
sign out. Gonna prepare for the folks coming over for dinner. Catch you guys later.
Alright. Well, why would you make a multi-element paladin around a lacerator? What's the benefit of choosing a lacerator over other options? That would be my first question. I mean, what special does lacerator do that makes you want to build a multi-elemental character around it?
Isn't that an amplified damage weapon, which is physical?
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean that's kind of the question I'm asking, because like it doesn't seem like that would be a good choice for a multi-elemental paladin. I mean, let's look at it objectively. Amplified damage is good for increasing physical damage, not elemental damage, so basically useless for that character. It also has hit causes monster to flee on it, which is going to make it relatively difficult to use for any kind of a melee character, so I'm assuming that you're planning on throwing it. Because if you're not throwing it, then I don't know what you're doing with it. It doesn't really seem like it would be a good weapon for actually like zealing or anything, as the monsters would be constantly fleeing from you, fleeing from your very presence. I mean, I don't know, is there anything on Lacerator that actually makes you want to use it as a multi-elemental item? Like, I'm having trouble remembering anything on it that would actually make it worthwhile. It's got prevent monster to flee, which is like okay, and it has open wounds, which is alright. It's 30% increased attack speed, and it's fast, so I guess there's that. It does replenish quantity, but I mean overall it doesn't really seem like a good choice for an elemental damage character. I mean, wouldn't you be better off with an elemental damage weapon if you were trying to do an elemental damage character? I mean, there's two better options for an elemental damage character if you're trying to do an elemental damage. One of them is Gimmer Shred, which is a very nice, highly elemental damage weapon, which comes with 218 fire, 501 lightning, and 397 cold damage, which is kind of cool. Then there's also the throwing weapons instead. So if you look up Demon's Arch, Demon's Arch has a really nice elemental damage on it too, and it also has a further throw distance since it's technically not a throwing weapon, it's a throwing spear. And throwing spears they can actually be thrown further, so there's also that. Both of these could be, well, this one can be ethereal too, so you can get extra damage from it, whereas Gimmer Shred can't be ethereal because it doesn't have any rep durability on it, unfortunately. Both of these would probably make better choices for like an elemental damage paladin than a lacerator. I don't really know. I don't really think lacerator is a good choice for either one of those. Was there anything in Diablo 3 I liked more than Diablo 2? The Kunai's Cube was actually surprisingly good. It's actually one of those mechanics that I thought was actually really well done, and probably one of the coolest things in Diablo 3 that they completely ruined of their own volition. They made this amazing thing called the Kunai's Cube, and then they were like, you know what, let's just completely ruin that, and let's just add these ridiculous sets that make the builds that people are creating in Kunai's Cube to be like completely useless. Basically what Kunai's Cube was is it was a place where you could put a unique effect, and you didn't have to actually have that item equipped. Like, imagine if they had Kunai's Cube in Diablo 2, for instance, right? So let's pretend I want a unique effect, and let's use Principle as a rune word as a unique effect, right? I would love to have the Principle unique effect, and let's say the unique effect was the Principle shooting off holy bolts, right? Well, if I could take that and put it in Kunai's Cube and then give that to any character, then I would have the ability to shoot off holy bolts on any character. And that would open up a wide variety of options for my body armor slot, and I wouldn't necessarily be tied to a Principle armor. Same thing with like Destruction, which has like all the volcanoes and all the other crazy things, right? Like I could take that and put it on my character and not have to be limited to use the actual Destruction item. Unfortunately, they basically took all of the speciality of like creating characters in Diablo 3 and were like, yeah, who needs to create characters? Here, have a set that does 26,000% increased damage. Oh, and the set tells you exactly what abilities to use and in what order. I'm not even joking. I mean, an interesting way to go about it would be if you're trying to just build as much high elemental damage as you possibly can. It could be to go with an ethereal weapon that has high elemental damage on it, like Demon's Arch. Find yourself a nice ethereal Demon's Arch and just use Vengeance. If you can get the physical damage up on the weapon high enough, like Demon's Arch has a really high physical damage, and then you use that as your main weapon with Vengeance, you can add the elemental damage from the Demon's Arch to the Vengeance attack, use Conviction Aura, which would probably be your best bet, stack Charms and stuff like that to bring your damage higher. I mean, there's a lot of ways you could potentially approach it. I mean, I feel like Paladin already has one of the best elemental damage abilities in the game, which is Vengeance. It's kind of hard to beat it. A daily gear check. A whole bunch of like sets that I don't have multiple pieces for. That's what I got. Trying though. Two-handed, dagger, small shield. Nothing worth picking up. Ever do a two-handed vengeance paladin? Yes, I did. Did it on a ladder start. I started ladder as a two-handed vengeance paladin. Made it work too. I mean, what's the hang up on Sunders, Agent Smith? I think Sunders are a beautiful tool that expands the number of builds in Diablo 2, doesn't diminish them. I mean, granted, a Vengeance Paladin doesn't need a Sunder, but it doesn't mean that putting a Sunder on the character would be a horrible thing. And honestly, like, there's a lot of builds in the game that are only really viable because of Sunders, which is actually just, honestly, they're one of the best additions to the game in a long time. Any words of wisdom for somebody making a North Star Smiter? Plus the skills. 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 It's literally the mantra of the North Star Smiter. As many plus the skills as you can possibly get. The more plus the skills you have, the higher the damage of your Holy Bolt is. The higher the damage of your Fist of the Heavens, the higher the damage of your Holy Shield, and the higher the damage of your Smite, the higher the damage of everything, the better your defenses are. That whole build is literally designed around plus the skills. You want as many plus the skills as you can get. Vidala's armor. What the hell does that give? I don't even know what the 2-piece and 3-piece bonuses are for that. Ooh. That's an interesting little tidbit that just dropped. A 2-socket leather armor with Faithful mod on it. I believe that's called the Faithful, which is the one that scales defense based on character level. With 2 sockets in it, no less. That's pretty beautiful. No faster hit recovery, but technically, I could put faster hit recovery in there with a Shale Rune, although I only have 1 right now. No, the color of the leather armor. Yeah, the Faithful mod always has a very pretty appearance. Makes your whole character turn white. Of course, I can't use it though. It's got to go on the mercenary.
Good day.
What would I put in it for him though? That's the question. I mean, it's got 2 sockets. I could give him resistances. I could give him damage reduction. I could like put frickin' like 2 soul runes in it or something for like DR. I could give him physical, faster hit recovery. I could also upgrade it to the next tier, which is also a potential option. Getting more defense. Does it have any defense bonus on it? No, it doesn't. It does have fire resistance on it, though. I suppose if I put a Thull rune in there and a Ral rune. No, not a Ral rune. A Thull rune and Ort rune. Thull rune and Ort rune. It would be basically an all-res armor for him. It's actually quite impressive. That's a nice little upgrade for him. Oh, and another Arcanis hat. It'd be nice if another piece of Arcanis could drop. Like, that would be nice. Like, if any other piece other than the hat would drop, it would be great. I could put 2 burrs in it. Don't tempt me, Roman. Don't tempt me.
Good day.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I don't have infinite burst. This is a single player challenge account. To even get access to those, I would have to get access to hell difficulty first, which I don't have access to hell difficulty right now. And even then, I would still have to, like, go to that particular seed and do that specific thing in that specific seed and yada, 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 yada. It's not even on the table at this point.
Greetings.
Would getting to Nightmare Cows open up more opportunities for you? Are you strong enough to get there right now? Probably.
I mean, maybe. I'm finally getting to the point where I have, like, all the equipment I need. I was hoping to get a couple more pieces for resistances, though.
Yeah.
That was really what I was looking at, is, like, my reses are just terrible. I might could just, like, start forcing my way through. I don't really
You have
have
a decent amount of magic find, right? You have, like, what, 80% or something?
I mean, with the mercenary, it's even higher. That's why I've been using him to, like, get the killing blow on stuff. Unique Martichet. Ow.
Bardiche.
Abaradite. I wonder how many people are pissed off with that. I'm never coming back here. Never. You'd be surprised to find out how many people are so upset about, like, the pronunciation of an item, of a word. And also how many times they're wrong. Which is hilarious to me. They come on my channel and they start making comments about how something is said, or, you know, or pronounced, and I'm like, dude, that's not even how it's pronounced. I'm like, you're a freaking pronunciation Nazi. It's like, and you're not even getting it right. And they're like, what do you mean? That's totally how it's pronounced. And they're like, how do you know? You haven't heard it said out loud. And I'm like, yes, I have actually. I have actually heard it said out loud because I listened to the dialogue in the game. And if you listen to the dialogue in the game, most of the time they say the words. One guy was getting upset at me. He was so upset that I said Travencall. He's like, how dare you call it Travencall? It's not Travencall. It's Travinsel. You're a horrible person for calling it Travencall. And he actually wrote it out that way, Travencall. It's like, how dare you pronounce it this way? Then I linked him the actual audio file from Kane in Act 3, who literally says Travencall. You can literally just go talk to Kane, and Kane will literally tell you how it's pronounced. And that's about as canon as you're going to get. I believe it's Kalim's Will. Yeah, he says it in Kalim's Will. Unfortunately, it's like way down at the bottom. It's like all the way at the bottom or something. Whereas there you go. Travencall. There you go. He said it. Travencall.
Never forget that your
Right here.
ultimate purpose here in Kurast is to destroy Mephisto. The ancient Horodrim imprisoned the Lord of Hatred inside the Guardian Tower that is located within the temple city of Travencall.
Oh, look, a Travencall. Oh. I like proving people wrong on stupid stuff like that. He deleted his post, by the way, when I proved him wrong. You can't be a pronunciation Nazi if you're wrong. It's against the law.
What the fool.
That fool and his pronunciation. I'll show him. How dare he pronounce it wrong? You think this is some sort of game? Yes, actually, it is, it is actually a game. This is actually a game. I'm waiting for Cow King to drop me Talrash's amulet. Let's go.
Can that drop in normal?
Yes.
That's nuts.
It has a TC class of level 27 or 26 or something. It's like stupidly low.
So then normal is your best chance because any other difficulty adds more versions, right?
Adds
They add,
all
like-
the other set amulets, like Telling of Beads and any other set amulet that's a higher level. Yeah. Oh god, I'm gonna die. Oh god.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah, it's super common, like to
You
to
can
find
get
it in the
the-
weirdest places. Like you'll find it like a lot of people will go be doing something stupid, like they'll be doing like Nightmare Trav or something, and it'll pop out of like Trav or something, and they're like, I didn't think this item could drop in Nightmare, and then like you could be like normal Cow King, and it'll drop out of normal Cow King's butt.
I'm pretty sure back in the day I got the weapon, the Tal's weapon from Nightmare and Mephisto. I think I got it from him.
Pronounced as Zweihan. Why is the chinchilla like all up in the camera? Look at him. He's like really close. The butt. Look at his big round butt. Around the baton toe.
How may I be of help?
You talking about the Toadsfell Flom? The Toadsfell Flom? Actually, is that the Zweihander? I don't remember if that's the Zweihander.
Impossible.
A month and a week to find different games to play.
There's a lot of games to play.
Do you give up with D4?
Well, I was already about to be done. I created
Yeah.
this stork yesterday because I was just wanted something to do.
Go.
Yeah. I mean, D4 runs out of things very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I can't use this yet.
What would be an interesting Act 1 Rogue Merc to add? I don't know what you mean. What do you mean, like another variant or something? I mean, it would be cool to have like a multi-shot version. That'd be kind of neat. Just a fizz version. Hey, I level. 2 more skill points. I haven't spent them yet. I mean, I'd say I'm ready to go into a nightmare difficulty, but I'm also running out of time already, unfortunately.
Work.
Yeah, plus I need to do a little bit of shopping when I go in, so I need to leave a little bit early.
Well, then just farm a couple more times, I guess. It's a couple more kills.
Sorry, I was sending a poop emoji to somebody. Poop
Khan got it?
emoji. Khan.
Yeah, did you get that, Con?
His poop emoji? Yeah.
Yeah, good.
A poop emoji.
It's the eggplant, though.
Wait, you don't want to mix the two.
Yeah, you don't mix the two. Don't put the eggplant with your poop emoji. That's a bad idea. Magic. Well, I'm level 40 now. Moo. I was hoping to get some set bonuses that actually, like, helped my character.
Never.
You know, like some resistances or, you know, some various things that I can use to have a easier time in Nightmare, or, you know, maybe some plus to skills wouldn't be too completely out of character. Come on, get the Cow King kill. I need you to get that magic vine up there. Another belt. Is it Hasaris this time, or is it the other belts? Is it the other white meat?
Good day.
There's... Is it 2, or is it 3? I can't even remember. It's another Hawaiian's belt. Unfortunate. I'm gonna start collecting them like dolls.
Red Monster Heal.
Good day.
I mean, it's really good for that, but I already got like it's like the death sash. Like I've got 1 death sash, now I have 3 death sashes. He dropped me. He didn't drop me 1. He didn't drop me 2. He dropped me 3 death sashes.
Well, if you put 3 of the same set item inside the cube and 2 perfect ammies, it translates into another set item.
Let's go.
You didn't know about that recipe, huh?
1 little, 2 little, 3 little recipe. 4 little, 5 little, 6 little recipe.
Man, Masterworking's the greatest. I'm resetting.
Don't even get me started on that crap. I had an item that had like, you know, because like when you put the tempers on there, you have what, the 3 plus the 2, so it's 5 total things. And like all the way at the bottom was like something stupid like hurricane size or something like that, right? And I'm sitting there re-rolling the item, and I must have re-rolled it like 9 times. And every single time I got to the first greater affix masterwork, the 25% bonus, went straight to the hurricane size bonus. Like 9 times in a row, right? And then finally it goes to something else, and it was something really stupid like you know, like resource gen or something like that, which I also didn't want. And like, so I was like, I reset it again, and you know what it went right back to on the 11th time? Hurricane size. Just straight back to it, and it stayed on it for like 3 or 4 or 5 more tries until it finally went back to like the resource gen, and it just kept like rotating back and forth between like resource gen and hurricane size over and over and over again, either always on hurricane size or always on resource gen, and I couldn't get it off of either one of them, and I had no freaking clue what the hell was going on. That freaking stupid RNG system in D4 is, there's something wrong with it. Like I think it's deliberately.
Well,
I think it's deliberately set up in a way to waste your time. I think that's what it is.
I happen to have insider knowledge on that Diablo 2 tweet, and the chaos they're bringing is tempering a masterworking to D2R.
Oh dear Lord Jesus. I think there might even be a class action lawsuit in it somewhere, to be honest. Have you ever been to a claw machine and, like, you know, like participated in trying to get something from the claw machine, and it seems like no matter how many times you do it, like it just doesn't seem to like grab the item properly, or it doesn't seem to like actually, you know, like engage the claw like the correct way. Well, it come to find out that like those machines actually are rigged, in that the claw is actually designed to not grab the item, which means that like it's a skill based in game, or it's sorry, not a skill based game. It's presented to the player as a skill based game, where essentially you have an equal opportunity to get the item depending on like your skill and how well you move the claw, and all of that is essentially like calculated into the, you know, like your winnings or whatever, right? But the thing is that like you don't have a chance to win. The majority of the time in those games, there is absolutely no chance for you to win. And I know this, it's not just a guess, because I've actually like seen like the science channels that actually like go over this stuff and test it. Like there was a, you know, that one little game in like the arcade where like there's a light that spins around and you gotta like press the button to stop the light at the exact point.
Yeah.
And it's all a game of reflexes, like you just have to hit it at the right point. The guy made a machine, like a separate machine that literally would just track the light and could hit the button within like a nanosecond or like a fatosecond or something. It was like some crazy ridiculous response time where literally it would see the light and press the button at the exact precise moment every single time. And do you know what he found out? He found out that the machine would not pay out unless a certain number of people had played the game in a certain time frame. So in other words, like he could sit there and try it over and over and over again, but unless 10 people put in coins, or 100 people put in coins, or 50 people put in coins, whatever the machine was set to, it would not pay out. Even if you were 100% skilled and did everything accurately as you were supposed to, it was not going to pay out the money. Like it would literally deliberately move the light thing like off to the left or off to the right and cause you to fail. And even though he was able to legitimately get the winnings every certain number of runs, like every 50 runs or every 50 coins or something like that, he could always get a jackpot because he had set up the machine properly. The crazy thing about those games is that they are rigged because you, no matter how good your skill is, you will not win unless it lets you. And on top of that, you only have the ability to win once it lets you, right? So like, say for instance, you played for 49 times, and on the 50th time, or let's say for 49 times, your skill was banging, like you're Goku himself in Super Saiyan Blue, and you're hitting the button at the exact moment that you want to hit the button, and you're getting it correct, right? And you fail 49 times in a row. And let's say Bulma comes up behind you and like blows in your ear or something and distracts you on the 50th time. And so you don't hit it properly and you don't get the skill check. You don't pass the skill check, right? Even though the 50th time would have paid out for you, because you didn't pass the skill check on the 50th time, you don't win. Even though you literally passed the skill check 49 times in a row. And so, like, those machines are so rigged. They're ridiculously rigged because they don't let you win the game unless the winning, like, opportunity has presented itself, right? And in the same way, Diablo 4 seems to have this really weird setup where it's like you roll it, and, like, every time you roll the tempering or you roll the masterworking, it's like they've weighted the options or something. And each one of the options is either considered like a success or a failure or something. And it's giving you like the failure option like over and over and over again. It's literally just going, oh, well, this was a failure, hurricane size, 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 failure, hurricane size. And then finally, like 10 or 15 times later, when you succeed, right? Very similar to the little arcade machines. It's like, oh, success, intelligence, or something like that, right? But then the silly thing is there'll be like 3 or 4 or 5 of them that you're actually like looking at. Like intelligence might not be the one you want. You might want like flay duration, or you might want, like your chance to hit, cast twice or something. Like there's a lot of different options, right? So even when you do get a success, a lot of the times it's not the success you wanted. And like the tempering system seems to be almost rigged in the same exact way as the stupid little arcade machines in like the like in like Chuck E. Cheese or what is it, Dave and Buster's. Like they're literally designed by default to not pay out. Cobb standard size. Consideration. Cobb standard size. Consideration.
I can't.
And I said the thing that really is weird to me is that it's literally been a meme within the community for like seasons. Multiple seasons it's been a meme in the community, and they still haven't done anything about it. And it's so obvious to anybody who interacts with the frickin' system that it's so awful. I know Leon's probably already dumped like easily a couple billion gold into the masterworking system trying to reset.
Oh no, my god, yeah, for sure.
I can't.
For sure.
Ain't no joke neither. Like it's 5 million gold per reset. So if you want to reset your masterworking to try again, it's 5 million gold per reset. And I don't even understand either. Like I've played games from like the 90s, like the late 90s that have better RNG systems than the freaking tempering and masterworking system. I don't even know what's going on. We sat there and calculated out the odds. Me, Leon, and Khan. We were just sitting there one day and we were like, let's calculate the odds of like actually hitting the same masterwork like 10 times in a row, and it was like some astronomically high like number that didn't even make any sense. It was like worse than winning the lottery like 30 times or something. Oh, corrupted tremors have hit the cow level. Interesting.
Okay. All right, we're gonna be late to work, everyone. We gotta get our set items.
I mean, that makes the Cow King level like 40. What is it? 45 or something like that.
Oh, he might be higher than that, right? Because the area level is 45.
Plus, he's plus 3 higher. I'm 40. Area level's 42 right now, and he'd be like 45. I might actually have to go get potions for this.
Hello.
These are actually high-level monsters now. I gotta get a perfect diamond so I can upgrade one of these belts. I gotta pick a belt. I'm tired of having like no potion slots. It's awful. Might actually be a good time to actually farm the cow level too, instead of just killing the Cow King. Yeah, my poor mercenary can't handle that. I can't handle it. I've been working on this little technique with Firewall, which actually seems to be very effective. It's where you basically make a firewall and then teleport to the end of the firewall. Like, no matter where the firewall is, you just make a firewall and then teleport to the end of it. Forces the cows to walk along the firewall, dealing massive damage to themselves. It's actually pretty cool.
Is there a limit to how many you have up?
No, not really. I mean, there's a limit to how many can actually be damaging a target at any given time. There's also an odd formula for Firewall that increases and decreases its damage depending on the monster size, which is apparently a whole thing. So basically the monster size is directly proportional to how much fire they're being damaged by. It's kind of ingenious. So like size 1 monsters don't take as much fire damage as like size 3 monsters, which can be affected by more firewalls at any given time. Oh, there's a set item I didn't think I wanted. And I don't.
Double axe.
It's berserkers.
Yeah.
Scale mail could be interesting. It's not. I don't think there's any use for a Berserker's double axe in this build. At all. I have a random mask in my inventory. Give me both those war javelins. I'm gonna sell them.
Good day.
I hate farming in normal. It's just, might be time to just move on to frickin' an area where I don't have to worry about, like, going to Act 5 just to get potions.
I think your character can make it through most of them easily once you have another session. After work.
Yeah, Pride casts on the target that hits you, yes. It's a firewall, so any monster that hits you, the firewall will cast directly underneath their feet. That's how the Pride armor works. Yo mama matters? Yo mama, yo daddy, yo Greaser, Greaser, Granny.
The Sisterhood welcomes you.
Oh, he's fire enchanted. No wonder he stayed alive. No wonder. Firewall and Merc is actually a good combination because you can literally just cast the firewall right underneath his feet. Massive amounts of damage that way.
It's locked.
I mean, he couldn't handle the Cow King, but that's the Cow King. Just prop up that big, thick firewall right in front of his feet. Let everything melt.
I can't. Not enough mana.
I'm gonna have to bring his defense up higher too.
He has leech. Does he have any leeches? Leeches?
Oh yeah, I mean, he's got an ethereal weapon with some leech. He needs more faster hit recovery. He's right now he's using a magic vine plate, so like his faster hit recovery is kind of suffering. It's unfortunate, but I do what I gotta do to find the items that I need to find. So this is gonna be painful. Get them triple firewalls right underneath his feet, back him up. Works fairly well. He definitely has an easy time with it. good EXP. Might actually level up.
Not enough mana. Impossible. Impossible.
Arube. 3 skilly points. Be cool if I found like some of the Cow King set pieces. Cow King set has plus the skills. It's got Magic Find on it. It's got some other good bonuses too. Completely out of mana pots. Just about. Wrist blade. Boobies.
I need mana. Not enough mana.
Thanks.
It's locked. I need mana.
Weebies. What the hell?
I need mana.
Hey, Merc leveled up too.
I need mana. Not enough mana.
Man, I just don't want to drop me mana potions.
I need mana. Not enough
Mana potions are for fools.
I need mana. I can't.
Take that ruby.
I need mana. Not enough mana.
Alright. Dying over here.
Don't die.
Good to
But
see
did you die?
But did I die? I did die.
Impossible. Impossible.
I did it.
Pulling staff of Liam Neeson.
It's a good staff. It's a nice staff. I like that staff. It's a staff of average size.
You gotta be attracted. I mean, it's not just a good size, it makes them last longer too. Good to find.
It's all about the stamina, huh? The stamina. Money making, money making, money making, makings. He did say the staff of Liam Neeson. That's what we call it.
Just like the tone.
Yeah, just like the tome of Liam Neeson. Did you get your tome of
Is
Liam
that-
Neeson?
Good afternoon.
It's a powerful staff. It's a powerful tome. Watch it fly by, the window goes.
You could also say it's Qui-Gon Jinn's staff.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Same person.
I mean, he has a certain set of skills.
That he does.
A certain set of skills. I love the Saturday Night Live episode where Steven Seagal was making fun of himself. He plays like the same actor in every single movie, like snaps everybody's neck. He was at like, I can't remember what the Saturday Night Live was, but they had like him up there and he was just walking up to random people and they said something he didn't like and he would just snap their neck and they would fall straight to the ground. This is the way.
A lot of actors say they want to avoid the the typecast and stuff, but I love the typecast actor. I love the ones that lean into it. You know what? This is me.
That somebody had a post the other day. It was like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, but instead of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, it was the 4 horsemen of I play the same exact character in every movie. And it was like The Rock. Oh God, what was all the people? There was a nice little like list of them.
Yeah, the screenwriter is just sitting there. He's not coming up with character names. He's just saying The Rock. It's like I already know who's gonna play this character. It's written for The Rock. It's not written for a character.
Yeah, there you go. Here's another one. Like more 4 horsemen of the I have the same personality in every movie. Adam Sandler. What was that LL Cool J?
Yeah.
Jason
Yes.
Statham, Kevin Hart. Like, and then there's another one, like, it's The Rock. There's another Jason Statham. He got put in there twice. They literally just play the same character in every single movie. There's no. Oh yeah, Ice Cube. Ice Cube. That's right, Ice Cube. They play the same character every movie. It's like every movie. That's just who they are. They're just that character. Bateman. That's right, Bateman.
You knew then. Con, don't miss the world boss in 13 minutes. Don't you dare miss it.
World boss, 13 minutes.
Miss it, you're done for.
They almost killed me.
I need mana.
Thanks.
Impossible.
Doot doot. Doot 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 doot. You ever notice how in Diablo 2 sometimes the monsters they're coming for you? Like like that's it. Like there's no dissuading them. Like they are coming for you. There's like this thing in Diablo 2 where like the monster will go to initiate an attack on you and doesn't matter where you run or where you go or what you do or like how far you travel, like they will find you and they will swing at least one time. And then
Target acquired.
it's really weird, like after they swing that one time, it's like they don't know what to do with themselves after that. They're like, I have achieved my purpose. Time for self-termination. Like, see this? These guys are following me. This guy will follow me to the end of the planet until he manages to get a swing off. The only reason he turned around because he got capped by my Merc. My Merc ran up behind him and capped him.
Neutralized threat.
Threat neutralized. Firewall's pretty good in the cow level too, because you can pretty much just like circle the pack. All you really have to do is just firewall, like turn the pack, go around the pack, firewall, go around the pack, firewall, go around the pack, firewall. You just keep going in a circle and they just keep running back through the firewalls over and over again. Big wide open areas with lots of space. It helps if you put them in an X too. Makes a nice like unavoidable little pattern. Yeah, I can't believe y'all killed my Merc though. That was a little rude. Angles doesn't have anything to do with it, Jesse. That's a myth. That's a myth I disproved a long time ago. That was some sort of llama crap. Llama was taking a guess and he didn't really like take the time to actually test it. Angles isn't a thing. Doesn't have anything to do with what angle you come at the chest from. It has to do with what chunk layer that you passed by, essentially. Like, think about the world like split up into a grid, right? Like, let me overlay a grid. Like, think about the world as a big giant grid like this, okay? Like, this is a grid. See the big grid on the screen? So, open the image in new tab. There you go. So there's your grid, okay? And imagine your character as a person in this grid, okay? It depends on what lines you cross as you're approaching the chest. And how many of these lines you cross, depending on, like, if it's on a corner. The only time, as far as I'm aware, it would act as if Llama said, is if the armor rack or the super chest is literally on the border of 4 chunks, okay? If it's on the border of 4 chunks, then it would matter which angle you approach it from, because you would always be crossing a line on approach to the super chest. But the problem is that the armor racks and the super chest are not always on the border of multiple chunks. In fact, most of the time they're just sitting in the center of them. And you can approach them from any angle as long as you cross a specific border of the chunk. For instance, like, let's say that the armor rack or the super chest is right here in the center of this chunk. Well, if you entered here, but then went around and approached it from the top, it would do nothing because you crossed this barrier. If you entered here and then went up here and then crossed this barrier and then came back down, that would be another entire result. If you went over here and then ran down here across this barrier, went over here across this barrier, went over here across this barrier, and then came down, that would be another completely different result. Like, it doesn't necessarily matter which direction you approach the chest from. It matters how many of these segment lines that you've crossed, and whether or not you crossed this segment line or this one or this one. It also matters the order in which you cross the segment lines. So in other words, if you cross this segment line first and then cross this one, it's going to be a different result than if you crossed this segment line and then this segment line. If the waypoint is right here and you walk straight to the armor rack, you will literally cross over this line, this line, this line, and this line, all approaching the chest. And so essentially how it works in this game is there are these chunk borders, and every single time you cross a chunk border, you're changing the RNG calculation, like you're advancing it one step forward. The order in which you advance it also matters. And so, like, let's say the waypoint was over here and the super chest is over here. Well, on your way to the super chest, you're like, zoom, 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 zoom. You've already crossed like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if not like 12, maybe even like 15 or 16 lines on your way to the super chest. So which direction you approach the super chest is meaningless at that point because you've already like added a huge number of variables on your way to the super chest. I think I've cleared this one out. It's time to move into the next one. +2 conviction. That's worth some money. The chunks are fairly large, by the way. Like it's very difficult to like accidentally cross a chunk. Like you can approach a chest from any angle you want to, and it's not really going to matter for the most part unless you cross one of those borders.
Say if you cross chunks, you get the loot. Cross chunks.
Cross chunky chunks. Alright, one last run and I think I gotta hop off. Oh, I got a leg already? I don't know. Moo. I swear that sounds like the Minecraft cow. I swear it does.
Impossible.
Moo. I think they bogarted the Minecraft cow sound. Alright, well, I know to be hyper-aggressive with the Cow King this time. He kicked my Merc's butt, so I can't really rely on him to sit there and tank. He's gonna get his butt kicked otherwise. So I'm just gonna have to go full blast and frickin' murder his punk butt. Accidentally attracted a whole bunch of other cows.
Not enough mana.
Not smart. Not bad. Oh, wow. 2 set items. 2 set items I haven't found yet.
That's a good way to end it. Ooh, the light play. I know what that is.
Arcana's light plate
Oh,
and
and you
Saigon's,
have
Saigon's Greaves.
Saigon's Greaves is magic find too, right?
If I have multiple pieces, yes. It's also cold resistance too. Well, while I like the 40% faster run walk from Sanders Riprap, I mean that's cold res. So we need strength. Actually, these have strength on them, don't they? Yeah. So that's a decent amount of resistances. We'll definitely have cold res capped at this point. What does Arcana's hat and the 2-piece bonus give? Let's take a look.
You're not gonna like it. I just looked it up.
Defense based on character level and defense. So 2 defense mods. I could have sworn that there was a magic find bonus for Arcana's.
On the amulet.
It's
on the amulet.
It's on the amulet. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no resistances. I mean, the 50 mana isn't horrible. That's actually a pretty hefty chunk of mana, but yeah, unless I get another piece, it's probably not going to be a good setup for now.
That war staff has deadly strike on it. What the heck?
What? You don't go around bonking things with your war staff? Come
No,
on,
like,
obviously. You gotta do the bonkination. Bonk, 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 bonk. I wanna bonk, ooh. Ow, ow, ow. The hell is in there?
you think they get mad if something was just priced for $1 million in the market?
$1 million for what?
I don't know, like a jar of milk or something, a glass of milk. $1 million.
People get upset about it all the time. Dude, how many times people come into my chat? Like, I remember, like, back in the day, like you know, like the games that have auction houses where people would throw something on the auction house for some ridiculously high price. And they'd be like, man, I can't believe that such and such is like 700 billion gold. Like, this is crazy. Like, that's just impossible. You can't have an item that's 700 billion. How is anybody ever supposed to afford that? And I'm like, buddy, like, it's not 700. It is 700 billion. It's on the auction house for 700 billion. I'm like,
Good day.
have you never heard of a fake price? He's like, what do you mean a fake price? I'm like, they're obviously putting it up there at an absorbently high price, not to sell it, but to show it off. And he's like, so they don't actually want to sell it? What do you mean? It's on there for 700 billion. I was like, and does anybody have 700 billion gold? Well, no. And I'm like, so I can hear the hamster spinning in the wheel. I can hear. And like finally he starts to like put the points together. He's like, so they're just putting it up there to show it off? Like, yeah. Well, what if somebody buys it? It's like, are you gonna buy it for 700 billion? They're like, well, no, but maybe somebody's got 700 billion. Maybe they'll buy it. And I'm like, do you think he's going to complain about 700 billion gold in his account? You think he's going to be sad about that? Like, oh no, somebody bought my horribly overpriced item that isn't really worth that much money, and I have all this gold now. What am I going to do with 700 billion gold? No, he's not going to cry over 700 billion gold. If somebody buys it for his absorbently stupid price, then he's just going to laugh his way to the bank. And you would be surprised how many times I've had this conversation. Oh, my dear Lord Jesus. Since before I became a YouTuber, like, even up till after I became a YouTuber, I distinctly remember having this conversation with somebody in chat. Like, they were talking about something. I can't remember what it was. It was like some item on Tradery or something, and somebody posted it up there for like 300 jaw runes or something, and they were like, it's 300 jaw runes. How could you even trade 300 jaw runes? That's insane. And I'm like, brother, it's probably not a real price. Like, they know nobody has 300 jaw runes, and nobody's going to pay 300 jaw runes for that. Like, it's not even worth that much. And they're like, but it's 300 jaw runes. Oh, man. I used to do it all the time. Like, I used to take an item and put it up on the auction house. And especially if there was like some games where you could sign items. And if you put it up on the auction house, it would show your signature. And I used to put my stuff on there. I'd have like some super rare item, and I'd post it up, and I'd sell it to myself. Like, I would buy it myself, just to have it on the board, so that like it would be on the board for like some ridiculous price of like $10 billion or something.
Dang. So you went to Anya, got it signed, and posted it on the board.
Uh huh. I had an item I crafted in Final Fantasy 11 that was like absolutely ridiculous. In Final Fantasy 11, you could craft items that were like +1, and you could also potentially get a +2, and it was like super duper rare. But you could also potentially fail and lose all your materials. And so like there were these really rare materials that you had to like kill bosses for, and it was just like it was basically just an attempt. You didn't actually even have the item. Like all you had was an attempt at an item, And I was a bone crafter in that game. I had leveled up my bone crafting to max, and I had all the items that gave me all the plus skills. And like, there were even like the like moon phases and stuff, and all sorts of other stupid stuff. Where like if you were crafting with like an earth crystal, like and you crafted it on like the phase of the earth crystals, it would like double the effect of the earth crystal, and all sorts of other stupid things. And like. So this guy got this super rare item, and he gets it, brings it to me, and he wants to craft it. Well, like, I spent a long time leveling up my bone crafting, and all he did was bring me a material. So generally how it works is, if I craft a regular version, it's his, and I don't really care. If I craft a +1 version, or a +2 version especially, we basically sell it and split the money. And lo and behold, I crafted a +2 version of this frickin'... It was like a dagger or something, like extremely rare dagger. And dude, the +2 version had like god tier stats on it. And even to this day, like it's still on the frickin' auction house, like the one that I sold, because that's how rare they are. Like the +2 daggers are like as rare as like bee's knees and seal feathers. And he basically just paid me the money right there. He was like, he looked on the auction house, he saw about how much they were selling for, he just handed me the money. And he sold it on the auction house, pocketed the other half, and then, like...
Crazy. I mean, that's definitely the fun parts of MMOs. Moments like that.
I still remember when I crafted it. That jank was like... You had to like use these crystals, and the crystals would like make these specific noises and like fluctuations when they were gonna break. And I remember I was watching it, and it was like, and it did like a special animation I'd never seen before. I was like, what the hell is that? And that was apparently the +2 animation. Fine. Have I murdered all the cows yet? I've murdered most of the cows.
You have beef, like, for Khan now? Like, you farming Khan's males, right?
I'm pretty sure this is where Khan gets his beef from. Like, doesn't he get his beef from the cow level? Isn't this his secret?
Is there another place that gets your... Understood.
Impossible.
It's not got milk with Khan, it's got beef.
Isn't this like sentient meat, though? Isn't there like a... It's like something against sentient meat. Basically eating, like, pseudo people. What is my strategy for collecting sets? Kill the Cow King. Kill the Cow King because he is the #1 set dropper for shiz. He's the shizzin', bizzin', whizzin', best set dropper there is. 3 life left. Wow. That was glorious. I got one of those, like, hunter cows coming after me.
Oh, they have a large Final Fantasy sale going on Steam? I didn't know all these games are on Steam.
I'm waiting for the Pixel remasters to go on sale so I can play those.
I think it is on sale. $48.
Oh, that's awful. That's awful.
Hey, it says, I mean, it says that's a 35% save.
That's still awful. I need lower
That's
than
1
that.
to
I need
6.
lower. I need lower. I need lower than that. Honestly, I'd rather get it on the console anyway. I think I'm waiting for it to go on sale on the Switch. Pixel remasters are great poop material. Sit on the toilet, play some Final Fantasy. Sid, we need to repair the ship.
No. Don't die, Sid.
Dragoon jump. Ah, that was a good jump. Grand Septum. Holy shock, that's worth some money. Oh, mercenary down, mercenary down. Seems like the best tactic for killing cows, like with firewall, is to cast the firewall, let them walk through it, and then immediately walk to the other side, at which point they have to walk back through the firewall like 3 times. It's just a hilariously simple way to get them to walk back through the firewall like multiple times.
I need mana.
They're perfect for it. Not too fast.
Well, Saigons was a good find. If I could find some other pieces of Saigons, preferably the shields. How many pieces is the magic find on Saigons? I don't even remember.
I think it's 2 or 3. It's probably 3.
I think like, what is it, like 40% magic find on the boots?
50.
50?
It's 3 items. 50% boots, 3 items.
Okay.
2 is 50 attack rating.
Well, I mean, Saigon's boots is 1, so you don't have to worry
Shield.
about that. And then the
You're gonna
shield
rock
would
the
be
shield.
2, which I think would be a good option. Which means at that point, it's pretty much either like the belt. Belt's not a bad choice because the belt has resistance.
Resist life.
It does have
And
some resist,
defense.
yeah. And it's a full slot belt, which is not awful. So like maybe like the shield, the boots, and the belt for the +1. Unless I end up with Arathas, which armor, maybe. Like if I end up with Arathas, then the armor might be a good choice.
Yep, the armor has lightning res on it. Some thorns.
Can I help you?
I'm finding like a smattering of pieces of like every set. It's terrible. Like I don't have a significant number of pieces of any set at the moment. I'm literally just like, I got Angelic Sickle and Ring. I've got Arctic Furs and Arctic Belt. I've got Clegala's Shield and gloves. I've got like the Sanders helmet and boots and gloves, which is a horrible set. Only got 1 piece of Saigons. Got 2 pieces of Arcanas, but it's just not a good set. I've got 2 Huanen's belts and 3 Death's Guard sashes. I still haven't found the Death's Guard gloves. I found Osiris' shield, but never found the belt or the boots. I got Tancred's Crowbill, but haven't found any of the other pieces of that. I found Infernal Cranium, but haven't found any other pieces of that. I've got Sibr's shield and amulet, and a Vidala's bow. Like I've got basically like a whole bunch of smatterings of like everything, but not a complete set anywhere to be found. It's unfortunate.
Well, I mean, you chose this evil, Ricky Bobby.
Did I choose it? I chose the challenge randomizer. I didn't choose this.
You had to get it eventually.
But not on the sorceress. I feel like the set run would have been way better not on the sorceress, because at least then I would have ended up with like, the melee weapons could have actually been useful. The majority of the sets seem to have like melee connotations, like increased attack speed and attack
A lot of
rating,
attack rating.
and all sorts of beautiful things that would have held a melee character. But no, I ended up with the one character who literally can't take advantage of like the majority of the set bonuses. Life leech, who cares? Increased attack speed, who cares? Attack rating, who cares? Like I'm half tempted to just turn this into an enchantress and run around beating things to death with weapons.
It would work. I mean, it should work.
All right, guys, I'll catch you later. All right, guys and gals, it's been fun. It's been only 3.5 hours. It's a much shorter stream than normal, but I do got to go to work tonight. So as always, be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button if you enjoy the content. And as always, keep watching.